Yo. Hey, noble ones. Welcome, welcome to the disaster. Disaster. Goodness gracious. Odyssey. More like apocalypse, am I right? Merry Christmas. All right. Okay, so let's go. Welcome, noble ones. How you doing? Good to see you. Nolan, you muppet. What on earth are you doing, Nolan? Seriously, man. I can't leave the guy 1 second unsupervised. And that's what we get. How you doing, noble ones? Hello, everyone. Hello, people on YouTube, on Metatron's channel, people on Metatron Gemini, on Twitch, and hello to also on Rumble. Everyone joining in today to be angry at Nolan because he's a muppet. But what are you guys? Because you're also muppets. Let me see. What about Nolan's Odyssey? Oh, you'll see, my friend. Oh, you will see. You will absolutely see. How you doing? Be praised, be praised. Hello, Tomichiko. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic time with your family and friends. And also, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Ray Gonzalez, massive supporter of the channels. Thank you very much for the 5 Metatron gift memberships. Very much appreciated, my friend. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Hey, Periphetes on Rumble. Good to see you there. That is not being fair. That's being a muppet. You see, one of my main lines of attack that we're going to do today, because I will be merciless, and one of my major lines of attack are the following. I'm absolutely fine when a movie is not supposed to be like it. It's not a documentary, fine. Therefore, we can give free artistic expression, right, to the movie maker, directors, special effect artists, so that they're not limited, am I right, by historical accuracy in order to be able to present and provide with an upgrade, something that looks better, right? And here's the problem, though. When you're going to ditch historical accuracy to present a piece of armor or costume that looks 50 times worse, then at that point, freaking do the historically accurate one, am I right? Of course, you're free to disagree and be wrong. Everyone is free. So you can be right, and you can be wrong. Choose wisely. Ron Weasley. How are you doing, guys? I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're having a fantastic time. I was having a fantastic time. That was before I saw this monstrosity. And as you can see, there are a lot of tabs up here for us today because, of course, this is not going to be the only. There's only so much I can say. Am I right? About these kind of things. So once we're done with this, we'll jump into other things. But before doing that, let's have a look at how you guys are doing. Yeah. Creative license. Have you got a license? Have you got... Oi! Have you got a license for that awful armor? Have you got a license? Anyways. I don't know John Solo, no. I'll have to check him out. Looks exactly like my browser on any given day. Well, man, I still have to level up. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 20, 18 tabs. You should see Asmongold's. It's insane. It's like 50. I don't even know how he even recognizes them. I guess he prepares them before, and then perhaps he's already organized the chronological order, or perhaps the chronological order doesn't matter. Mayhap. But I mean, I don't know, but it works. So good for him. It doesn't crash. Fantastic. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm going to be pedantic, all right? I'm going to be absolutely monstrously pedantic today. Get ready. If you're even ever so slightly annoyed by pedantry, this is not the stream for you. Because I will be so pedantic today. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be obnoxious, condescending. Seriously, man. What is it with all this arrogance all in one stream? I don't get it. But here we are. Matt Damon is too old for these movies. I guess it depends on the age you choose to represent the character at that point. But it's one of those things, I suppose. So who did they make? But oh yeah, there is quite a lot of stuff as well. I think there is some swapping, but we'll double check that. We'll see. I'm actually I'll tell you this much though. I am impressed that Odysseus or whoever it is that they are representing, that any of the Greek or Mycenaean heroes isn't a black woman. That I'm really impressed with. Like I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe it. Watch it until they get. There is going to be 100%. So you will have articles and people like me that are going to complain about historical accuracy and how awful it looks. And then you're going to have people that complain that this guy is white. So it's like white savior complex. So watch it. Watch it. Watch it happen. Absolutely. So there's that. Yes. Oh, absolutely. I want this story. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We do have mythical creatures in the movie. I think, but absolutely I'm going to do that. 100% I'm going to do that. Yes, totally. And it's a based thing to do, my friend. Is it based on a true story? Is it based is where you should have left it. Is it based or not? Because if it's not based, we're not interested. But if it is based, it might be interested. We might be interested. So, how are you guys doing? What are you guys doing for these holidays? Any fun stuff? Did you see a VTuber AI broke the record for the biggest hype train in Twitch history? No, and honestly, this whole AI slop situation. You see, talking about the word slop, which has become the next generation of, basically it's how everyone calls someone a grifter, and it only means that the original meaning is gone. The original meaning was someone who was like a scam artist, or someone who was a fraud, or someone who was making money just out of a hyped topic, even though it doesn't align with their actual true beliefs. Like, that's what a grifter is. There should be some level of deception in it for it to qualify, but it doesn't matter, because what basically has become is that if you disagree with the ideas of the person that you are attacking, then you call them a grifter. That's all. That's what grifter means. Grifter means I disagree. That's what grifter means these days. But the next one is the word slop. Now you call slop content you disagree with, or either politically, usually it's in the political spectrum, but also not strictly political, also like politics in the sense of culture war. That's what slop is. The reality is, to me, the best way to describe slop is AI. AI content is slop. And then the only type of content that is still slop, even though it's not AI, today we'll have a look at that, is when content is made for mass production, where everything is wrong, like literally everything is wrong, even things that could have been researched in 15 seconds, and it's made for volume, regardless or despite of it being completely wrong. Not a little wrong, like when I'm pedantic. I'm saying completely missing the mark. And that's slop, because yeah, you can make 60 videos like that every day. I'm not saying that word without context. I mean it when I say 60 per day. It's a channel we'll check today. And it's all wrong, it's all incorrect, but they don't care because they make a lot of money. That's what I consider slop. If you show me a video of a content creator that I completely disagree with, I won't call it slop, and I won't call him a grifter, because I don't use these words just to mean I disagree. But that's how people do, particularly people on that hate on me. But I'm not the only recipient. In fact, there are a lot of people that get branded. They use these words this way. But yeah, AI is the definition. AI content is the definition of slop on YouTube. It is the definition of slop. Seriously, it really is. Okay, thank you so much, Ink Panification. I'm Metatron, surprised that you were not able to understand Corsican since it's similar to standard Italian. I'll try it today. How about that? You'll have to remind me later on the video. I'm happy to try it again. The only time that I heard, because it's not like you meet people from Corsica ever. You can spend your entire life in Italy and never meet anyone from Corsica, nor ever hear a single word in Corsican. But again, I remember trying it once and I didn't understand much, but that happened with Sardinian too. And I guess it might depend on what was said. It could be anecdotal. It is anecdotal. So what I'll do later, if you want, is I can try again. We'll open a couple of videos in people speaking Corsican and we'll see how much I can actually understand. So that we have a better analysis rather than just, oh, I heard it once, maybe years ago, and I don't think I understood much. We can try it again. Thank you for the support, by the way. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. That guy syndrome, Metatron trying to imagine Homer writing it as a modern sci-fi poem for the period. You know what? We're going to talk a little bit about Homer because, of course, Homer is the one who wrote it. Everyone knows that. But what people might not know is that, in fact, I wouldn't be too annoying when it comes to exact, perfect historical accuracy of time period when it comes to the Odyssey and any adaptation thereof, whether it be movies, documentaries, I'm going to be a little more, but in general, documentaries and theater, for that matter, or a video game, is because in reality, the Odyssey, yeah, it was written by Homer, right? In what era? The archaic era, in the archaic age. But it's not set at the time of Homer, it's set in the Mycenaean period. So there is a big difference between when it was written and when it was set. And while I think Homer did his best to set it in a period that felt accurate, and it is a lot of the times, but sometimes he slips. And there are situations when you kind of are cognizant of what makes an era that specific era within the framework of the ancient Greek history, you will notice things like he talks about councils of elders that are a thing that is contemporary to him, but he still speaks about it in period. Or another thing is the material culture. Like some of the things he says do sound like stuff that they would have used in the Mycenaean period, but other things he mentions or describes are in fact contemporary to Homer. So should we be 1000% accurate in what we expect when it comes to any representation of the Odyssey? No, because even the author himself wasn't. Okay? With that being said, guys, I mean, where is it? I think I have it here. Yeah. I mean, come on. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Please. Seriously. What do you want from me? This is my nemesis. This is the Antichrist for me. But we'll get to it. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it. We've got a lot of time today. I've got a lot of things to talk about. And I'm going to show you some stuff that I've prepared just to have an idea. Yeah, I know, my friend. No, you say no, you've seen nothing. We're going to watch the trailer. Although, when we watch the trailer, I'll have to possibly flip it. And I think I have to mute the sound because otherwise we get copy claimed. And at the same time, the stream might be stopped, at least on YouTube. Now, imagine on Twitch I would be okay, but I have to consider a multi-streaming. So we'll see. We'll figure a way around it. But yeah, prepare yourselves. Odysseus was black, my grandmother said. Man, grandmas, am I right? Busy. They keep busy. It looks awful, my friend, Belladonna. You're being very... Maybe I should learn from you. Maybe... Yeah, there we go. Okay. Because I think I want to use much worse vocabulary to describe it. Hey, Metro, will you do more videos about samurai in the future? Hopefully. So I've recently posted an hour and 40 minutes video on my 4th channel, Metatron History, when I'm discussing, and it's really in depth, by the way, Shogun from FX And because the reason why it's in there, it's because when I first made these kind of videos, although they were separated rather than put all together in one, on the main, the second one flopped and I had to stop. But if they do well on the fourth, I'll continue the series there. So that's the idea. I haven't got a clue where my Santa hat is. It's somewhere in this house, but who knows? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Isn't the Odyssey fiction? Right, but if instead of Odysseus you put a space marine, I mean, you could still use the same defense. You could put, literally, Samus from Metroid. I might as well at this point and say, this is an ancient Greek. Enjoy! So, even with fiction, there is a line and that we shouldn't cross. Otherwise, I mean, I can't even recognize it at this point. And where we put that line, where we place that line, and how, should we say, what our expectancy level, what our threshold is got to be different between me, you, and that's a matter of personal preference. I can respect that. I mean, given mine is kind of high, but I get it. Fine. But at one point, they're like, instead of Athena, put a crocodile. You're not going to like it. Because it's not Athena. So where do we put that line? And as I say, maybe yours is quite low. You're like, oh no, it's fine, even though he looks like a freaking... What is he? What is it? Even though he looks like an Eldari, a mixture, in fact, between some weird chapter of Space Marines from Warhammer 40k and an Eldar before they got the cease and desist and turned them into Eldari. And you like it? Man, more power to you. But me? Like this. But me? No, that's already... that's awful. I have to tell you. I hate it. I hate it. And it's my freedom. Freedom, because I live in America, my friend. I live in America. And I've got freedom of speech here. I can say whatever the heck I want when it comes to this. Ha! It's beautiful. Protected. Speech protected. My speech is protected. You muppet. My speech is protected. I usually love Nolan movies, so I'm curious how that movie will be. Yeah, you let me know. You let me know. Be interesting to see. Have you seen The Return with Ralph Fiennes? It's about the... no, I haven't. Maybe. If it's an old one, yes. Any movie that I've watched that has to do with Ithaca, Odyssey, whatever, all of these, Iliad, these are all old school. Like really, really old school. So there is that. You like the trailer? I will hurt your feelings then. Absolutely, I will hurt your feelings. Given I haven't seen it, though. I've only seen that picture, so maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll be like, you know what? The photography is really good. No, actually, that's going to piss me off even more. Because if the photography is good, if the dialogues are great, if the music that we won't be able to listen to because I don't want to get copy claimed is great, if the atmosphere is fantastic, then it's going to piss me off even more. They put him into a cyber leather. That's going to piss me off even more. But then again, maybe I'll change my mind. Who knows? I think it's Agamemnon. Yeah, I believe. Maybe. I'm not even sure. I think it's Agamemnon. We'll figure it out. Whoever it is, though. Nice to see quite a few people. Oh, chatters on Rumble. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yes, I am reacting to the trailer. Absolutely, I'm reacting to the trailer. You bet I'm reacting to the trailer. I'm already like complaining about it on X. I've been complaining about it on X. Which is beautiful. Because there are people that are like getting seriously offended. Which kind of leads or connects. This, in fact, connects to another thing that I wanted to show you that I found to be a fascinating thing. When it comes to literal human psyche, this, my friends, is a phenomenal insight into human mind. Because yes, when you write Nolan's Odyssey, the first thing you get is Wikipedia. I mean, we can have a look. 2 hours ago, they said, we can have a look. See if they explain some things right or wrong. Could be interesting. But look at the second one, because I find this to be particularly fascinating. Reddit. Someone said one day ago, I find the hate Nolan's Odyssey is getting weird. Really? I find the hate Nolan's Odyssey is getting weird. The movie isn't even out yet, but I see so many people complaining and making fun of it. Look, I don't know how to say this without sounding arrogant, so I will just sound arrogant and embrace it. a Redditor complaining about hatred is like having Benito Mussolini complaining about fascism. I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to leave it at that. Yeah, all of this awful hatred. Never mind that 95% of the damn platform, unless it's like IT or some kind of Ask Historian, the rest of the platform is literally a swampland of gratuitous hatred based on jealousy, political persecution, insecurity, envy, everything. But that's where they draw the line. Oh, don't you hate on the movie? Plus, no one is saying, I mean, yes, I am making fun a little bit. Okay, I'll give it. I'll grant it. I am making fun a little bit of Nolan himself. And I will, because it's fine. Not a problem. It's tongue-in-cheek. But the armor, that's where my hatred goes. The armor, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. You have a problem with that? Not my problem. I hate it. I stating it. I loathe it. I'm going to use 2 words for it. Hate and loathe. I'm going to use both words because I think that a combination of the two is the perfect representation of my mental state right now. So, yeah, I do hate that damn armor. I hate it. Yes, I won't apologize. I will not make an apology. Could you make Metatron's apology? And then I make the apology with a little thing. I play, there's a little thing. And then I say, guys, I really have to apologize. I'm sorry. No, actually, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Or I'm sorry, but there's going to be a fake apologies, of course. So in true content creator influencer style. And I'm sorry you feel that way. And I'm sorry about what happened. Keep it passive, right? Not what I did. I'm sorry about what happened. We're going to do that, of course. But that's what's going to be, my friends. That's what's going to be. Yeah, this is the rant before we even started the trailer. You're absolutely right. This is just an excellent exemplification of my mental state, as I was saying. Because I'm losing it. I'm literally losing it. I've been complaining about inaccurate armor. It's like people don't even know me. I've been complaining about this. I've been bitching about incorrect armor and ugly armor, in fact, for 12 years. 12, like the Zodiac stones. 12, like the apostles. 12, you think it's not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. Thank you so much, Dank Apostle. Talking about apostles. Have you seen the Roman and Greek influences on Ultramarine and Minotaur chapters from Warhammer 40k? If there is like a specific, I can see a little bit, of course, like the crests and whatnot. Sure, but I haven't seen any. I haven't looked into it deeply. But yeah, I mean, Warhammer in general is based on a lot, like even Warhammer Fantasy. It's kind of funny, actually. Have you ever thought about this? Warhammer Fantasy, you can kind of tell that like the Empire is clearly like a late, kind of a Renaissance, late medieval Renaissance German Holy Roman Empire type of situation with all the Maximilian Knights and a bit of Gothic. It's clear. Britannia, however, is one of those things that always fascinated me, particularly after they started dubbing it, like for video games and whatnot, because it started like an Arthurian legend with a little bit of a mixture of French. So, of course, Britannia, like Brittany, obviously. So it's a bit like the knights are French, but a lot of the lore is clearly Arthurian, therefore British. So, and the men at arms, it's so weird. It's like you get medieval England and medieval France and you mix them together, something that would be like an apostasy. Because the English and the French, you mix it together and they get along on what planet? Clearly fantasy. And the funny thing is that the video game, Warhammer Total War, and it's all dubbed, when you select the knights, they sound French, right? They're like, Chevalerie, for your honor and glory. That's how they speak. But when you select the infantry, like a men at arms, they sound Cockney. You click them, they're like, oh, do you want that? All right, mate. All right. Get up your shields, lads. Come on, lads. So how's that? How? I love it. I freaking love it. Instead, like the Imperials, they are very professional. So you click the arquebusiers and they're like, moving out, sir. So they're like very professional. But you click the Bretonian infantry and it's like a pub talk. It's like a pub in East Croydon. This is what it sounds like. And then you click the knight right next to it. And they go like, for the glory of Bretonia. for the lady of the lake. And I love it. I freaking love it. I don't know what to tell you. I think I actually lose battles because I keep clicking them because it's funny. So I keep clicking them, and I jump from like a French to a Cockney and a Cockney to a French, which is interesting because normally when we hear Cockney talk, it's the Romans now in my mind, for whatever reason. It's like the Roman soldiers usually sound Cockney, right? Unless it's like maybe, and then they change into posh if it's like a senator in a movie. If it's a senator, they're like, for Rome. But then when it's like the soldiers, oh, the line, lads. Oh my gosh. Anyways, here we are. I'm probably screaming into the microphone, not even checking the... Well, that's what you get for clicking into a stream of a Southern Italian. Not just an Italian, a Southern Italian. Of course it's going to get loud. What did you expect? Your neck of the woods? Blended. There you go. So you're a man at arms from Britannia. So, yeah. I'm looking back view of one of the movie's cover images. What the heck is that spine looking attachment at the back of the helmet? That's for that's where you put the, I think I know what you're talking about. Let me see. If we go into images and yeah, this, that's where you put the chips. So basically the cybernetic core connects here. And that's what it does is that if he pushes one of those, then the helmet closes. It goes like, and then turns on the cameras. That's what I'm expecting right now. Official trailer. Oh my gosh, what am I even looking at? This is atrocious. You're gonna ruin my day with this. You're gonna ruin my day. Anyways, let me see what else you guys are saying. Britannia is being gaslit by the elves. You're probably right, my friend. A new Stargate show looks good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, Stargate. Look at that helmet. I know. Yeah. And people on Reddit will make posts about this, like, oh, Metatron is hating on everyone again. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I double down. I triple down. I hate this. I absolutely hate it. But here we are. Yeah, let me see. I would love it if Matt Damon ends up driving a Lamborghini into battle. Well, you know what? Lamborghini is classy. So if it's a black Diablo Lamborghini, at this point, make it match the outfit. Am I right? You can match. So that would be fantastic. I agree on the armor. As soon as I saw it, I was immediately taken from skeptical to disappointed. Well, I mean, you have a lot more emotional control than I do because I went into complete absolute batshit crazy after that. Merry Christmas, Saxon 25. Nothing wrong with being Anglo-Saxon, by the way. Great having you here. Yeah. Plus, what is it with this thing? Like, have you noticed that in ancient Roman movies now there is this thing whereby Praetorians are all in black armor for absolutely no reason? So I guess he went that way. I suppose it's black leather everywhere. Yeah. Very historically accurate. You know, obviously, I would have loved it to be historically accurate. But then again, it's just me. It's not like the guy's making the movie for me. He's making the movie for the general public. I get it. But this isn't an improvement, though. If this was like, oh my gosh, they have such incredible art direction, and the armor objectively makes him look more like a hero than the real historical armor of the period, then I would be like crying with one eye. That's an expression in Italian, piangere da un occhio. It kind of means like I would still complain, but not as much. But when you uglify everything, then that's one of those situations when I'm like, why did you even do that? Why did you have to do that if it didn't improve anything? And people be like, yeah, but that's his vision. Fine. And my vision, since I do have it, because you got to be blind not to notice this, tells me that this is awful. So Greeks to people's vertebrae to decorate their helmets. No, I think that was made by the alien race that You know, the ones that got wiped out during the Younger Dryas event. I think they probably found this and just connected it. See what it does. Merry Christmas, John Bonzobi. Zombie. It's nice to have you here. Same time, mage. Time, mage, man. You make me think of Final Fantasy Tactics. So there's that. Leather braces everywhere. Of course. Of course. Of course, of course. What can we do, my friends? What can we do? Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate that. How about Kislev? For us Poles, it's offensive. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Mixing up Russian Empire, Tsar, yeah, no, for sure. Cossack Black, yeah, it's a mess, isn't it? Of faith with Orthodox Christianity, heresy. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Yeah, you're talking about fantasy, right? Yeah, I don't think I even... The only thing I used when it comes to Kislev is Kislev Flesh, the actual paint. That's it. Why leather braces at all? I think it's something that started, to be honest with you. I think it's something that started back in the 80s, and maybe even earlier than that, the 70s, when people were wearing watches, like wrist watches. And so due to the fact that people tan, right, when they work on sets and they're filming a movie in ancient Greece or ancient Rome, and then what happened is that you could see it. So they had to cover it because they would remove the watch, of course, when you're playing the character of a Roman or whatever, what have you. But you could see the mark of the wristwatch. I believe that's how they started putting these freaking leather braces. And then it just became a thing whereby you expect it now. And the problem is that it's nowhere to be found in iconography. And believe me, I checked. Ooh, I checked. Now, I wouldn't have a problem if you have someone like some sort of... I don't know, someone who belongs to the upper echelon of society, or like a centurion, primus pilum, like one of the important guys, a senator, and they wear some kind of bronze or jewelry, metal jewelry to show off their wealth, that's fine. But the leather bracers literally given as part of the uniform, if one could call it that, to every single ancient Roman, not even just the legionaries, every Roman, whether you be a slave, whether you be a owner of a ludi, or ludus, or whether it be like a senator, or anything, everyone, poor people, beggars on the street, everyone has got the leather. It's like they give them to you when you're born. In the classical period, you get the leather bracelets. It's terrible, my friends. But I believe that might be... I heard that might be where it came from. I don't know, though. It's one of those... Maybe it's a myth, maybe it's real, but I can see logically how that could have been a problem objectively in the... Because, I mean, I remember when I was growing up in the 90s, as a teenager, I did wear a wristwatch. And yes, whenever you would remove it, you would see the little super white, not tanned section of my arm. So I imagine that's a problem. Asteroid Moloch is more realistic. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is true. Ben-Hur had bracers. Yeah, Ben-Hur is still a good movie, though. My dad rewatches it religiously every year. It's actually kind of funny. To him, like, you could take... That man will give up on anything, but don't you touch his Ben-Hur. Because he's going to watch the whole thing, 4 hours movie. He's going to watch the whole thing every year. And every year he tells me, bello, sì, bel film. Every year he loves it, Bellissimo. That's my dad. And I'm like, Dad, you've been watching it since I was 2. But hey, if he likes it, yeah. You know what? Let's jump into it. Guys, let's jump right into it. I want to check out, but I need to figure out a way to not get copy claimed and the stream blocked. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at what they did. What did they do? What did these guys do? So this is, of course, we're going to watch it at Universal Pictures, channel with 10 million subscribers, and they posted this, the Odyssey official trailer. Now, you know what's funny is that the system is lying to you right now, because you can see it has a long red bar at the bottom, which means I watched the whole thing. I didn't. I haven't got a clue why it's saying that, because I only clicked it to make sure it was the correct one, and then I paused. So the system is objectively lying, but here we are. All right, so what I'm going to do is that we're going to watch it smaller like this, not full screen. And I'm going to remove the audio. but I'm going to put in the subtitles. That's actually a good idea. The following preview has been approved for appropriate audiences by the Motion Picture Association Incorporate. MPA. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's go. Universal. I'm going to comment it. We've got a maze right in front of you, a labyrinth. All right, I'm going to pause already for... Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm gonna let you choose this. Should I let it play first and just facepalm and then come back and dissect it? Or should I interrupt it every 3 seconds? Or should I perhaps interrupt it every, 20 seconds? I want to let you choose. You guys vote. You guys vote right now. And don't tell me yes, because I gave you 3 options. You tell me yes. I don't know what that means. But yeah, honestly though, I mean, look, 1 second in, how can I know who the heck planted this spear? Because this spear is like 1.5 meters inside the sand. That took some, am I right? That took some crazy. Do remember that even if we watch it first, I can't let the audio play. So we're going to watch it in silence at that point. Or I could just scream for you. I could just scream. I think a reasonable interruption is fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it play. We get like a 20 seconds in. Then I pause it. I scream. I click it. Watch another 20 seconds. I scream. Pause it. I think that's what I'm going to do. How about that? Also, another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say thank you to Jank. Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you very much. Same to you. Hey, Dequitem, good to see you. You retracted the message, but it's not a problem, my friend. We all make mistakes in life. Am I right? Good to see you, though. Okay, let's go. Let's go. All right, so we got this. Next. Oh, my God. Goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. Is that 20 seconds? No, yes, that is 20 seconds. All right, so this is the big deal, guys. Now, already, this is a piece of cheap, thin leather jerkin that we know. I'm not even gonna, but this. So you walk up to this Muppet, and you see this from the back already. He's a clown. He's a clown already. But then as he turns around, let's go. Turn around. Boom. How can you keep your face straight? That is so bad. How do you keep a straight face? Everyone has black leather. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Everyone, look. Every single soldier has got black wristbands. So this is even worse. Look at them. This is even worse than ancient Roman ones, because at least ancient Romans have brown leather. These guys, someone who was mass producing these for them, for the entirety of the Mycenaean army, I suppose, went through imagine having to dye everything black. Oh gosh, this guy. Let's continue, please, before I vomit. What are you kneeling at? The Space Elder. That's Matt for you. He's got good arms, though. I'll give him that. That's good muscles. Good muscles on those arms. Got a fortification. Nice ship. There on the ship. He's got, literally, on this man, I'm going to be so pedantic. He's got a light right on his face. Do you think it's like a torch? I wish we had like a separate... It's a beautiful shot, though. I like the fact that 90% of the shot is bluish, but then you get a little bit of orange here. The palette contrast is pretty nice. Also, I gotta say hi to Dequitem. So I try again. It will be a nice sci-fi film, exactly. Remember Nolan did the Dark Knight trilogy. Ooh, you're right. Some of the scenes look like they used AI for the design choices and landscapes. Oh my goodness. AI. Yeah, I mean, you might be right, Dequiten. Good channel, by the way, guys. Go check him out. Go see him fight against, as a knight against a samurai, and then against this, and then against that, and then spectacular job you do. Always love your channel. Always love your work. But yeah, it's gotta be sci-fi, all right? They look like freaking space marines. Ah, space marines. Okay. The ships are shipping. From Christopher Nolan. Let me have a look at this. What have we got? We got a horse. Okay, you know what? I don't see stirrups. That is surprising. You know why it's surprising? Because it's accurate. We shouldn't have stirrups, of course, in this period of time. But usually I'm a little lenient when they do show stirrups, unfortunately, because it's like a movie. I was told that it's a matter of life insurance. So like in the movie industry, Hollywood, you have to have stirrups for your actors when you ride horses in order to get health insurance in case there is some kind of like they fall and they hurt themselves. It's like a requirement, which is why I do complain about it, because you shouldn't have stirrups in classical antiquity, out of your mind. With that being said, I was like, make them green and remove them with a green screen. That's what I say usually. So do you think that's what they did here? Maybe. Because, I mean, the way he's sitting, and true horse riding, even in medieval horse riding, when you look at a medieval knight as they ride a horse, it looks like they're standing. I don't know if you ever noticed that. The way that he's sitting like he's riding a motorcycle is not exactly a coherent way to ride a horse, but, I mean, that's very pedantic. I get it. And then again, there aren't stirrups, so it's okay for an ancient perspective. I don't mind that. That's that. But man, no stirrups. Wow. Okay. So it looks like it's a wristband. Like they are doing this, basically what you do in MMO RPGs. Like if you get hit with an axe on the throat, you just do this to your arm. And sometimes it's even invisible, isn't it? The freaking bands. And, but yeah. So you go hit in the face. Draw your sword. Lovely. Oh, wow. Oh, that was cool. That was a giant, wasn't it? Or a cyclop. I like that. I love the fact that it's got some mythology in it. I really like that. Okay, let's continue. 20 seconds, I know. It's difficult, guys. I'm trying. I'm trying to prevent myself. Undead? Are we getting undead? Oh, that's fun. That is cool. I'll give him that. I love that. If we're getting the undead, that's pretty nice. Historically accurate undead, I hope. And I actually mean it. Obviously, softcore prawn. I imagined it has to be a little bit. Otherwise. 2026, shot entirely with IMAX. All right, so let's get back to this, shall we? Let's get back to this monstrosity. First and foremost, before I continue attacking it, let me see what you guys think, and then I'll show you the reality. Then I'll show you the real historically accurate stuff, and you tell me. You know, if you want to say, after I show you the historically accurate period armor, and you want to tell me, no, to me this looks more like a hero, like an ancient Greek. Yeah, it does look 3D printed. You're right. That's Batman. It is Batman, actually. It's a mixture between Batman and this. Like, look at him. Look at it. It's this. I told you. It's literally the Eldar. It's the Eldar for Warhammer 40k. That's what it is. Look at him. Or Eldari, I guess I need to say, cease and desist and whatnot. That's what it is. With a little bit of maybe a chapter of Space Marine or so, but mostly it's an Eldar. Yeah. But what can you do? Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. It's him. Look. Look at them. Anyways, I said I was gonna see what you guys were saying, so let's see what you guys are saying. For once. Let's see what you guys are saying. That looks so bad. I agree, my friend. Looks like a Power Ranger. Yeah, I guess Black Power. Is it the Power Rangers gonna scream Black Power? Because I mean, Power Rangers scream depending on their color, right? You got a red Power Ranger, red power, blue Power Ranger, blue power, black Power Ranger, black power, white Power Ranger. Hello. So depending on which Power Ranger, they will have their own line. Am I right? So that's how it is. Maybe they show a god. Ooh, that'd be cool, actually, in that scene. That would be really cool. I just hope they do it justice, like, because, you know, I'm actually very connected to Mediterranean deities, whether it be, like, I don't believe in them, but it's like, as someone who was brought up in the Mediterranean, you can imagine that my mum brought me up as a child, reading me all of the Odyssey and the Iliad and all the Greek mythology, because it's, I mean, Sicilian. It's like, yeah. And so to me, because I know I'm very familiar, I grew up with this stuff, and I know how the gods are described in the proper way. I just wish that whether you use CGI or whether you're having like a fantastic actor who's playing the role of a god, of the Olympus, the 12 Olympians, I just wish that I could see that and be like, oh yeah, and I can recognize whether it's Athena or Athena, or whether it be whoever it is at this point, Ares, whichever divinity, and I wish I could just recognize it based on the fact. Instead, oftentimes when it comes to Hollywood, I have to be like, who's that? And I have to Google it. So, not a great thing for me. Yeah, I mean, the Dendra pattern armor, we'll see it. I think there are better options than that. Because I can imagine, even though I like the Dendra pattern, I can see how, one, it would be quite difficult to move in it for the actor if they do it right, because it was quite difficult to move in it in period, which is why most likely it was relegated to chariot warfare. So you don't have to move, the chariot moves you, and it just mostly protects you, and then you can move the upper body all you want. But if you had to run in the thing, that would be you won't be as nimble as you would be with later iterations. So perhaps, and also the helmet that are usually associated with that, the one with bones and ivory sometimes. Yeah, I could see how people won't like that, but there are so many other options that I think would have been loved by the general public anyways, even if you're not like us, right, a history buff. That to me, this is like, what on earth? Well, what can I say? Batman. Agamemnon should look more like Sean Connery, you say. Let me see how we're doing here. You know what? That helmet is kind of shaped like Bible Man's helmet. I'm not sure what that is. As a game streamer, hey, low spec Linux gaming, I have come to the conclusion the only way to avoid copyright is not to stream or to YouTube. I mean, yeah, with video games, usually I don't get copyright struck, but with anything else, I do. In fact, I cannot react to Joe Rogan on YouTube because it gets blocked immediately. I can't do it. When I re-upload it, it also gets copy struck when it's unlisted, but then usually the Joe Rogan team immediately lifts the automatic, I have to assume, copyright claim, and it's not a strike. I said strike, I meant claim. But yeah, dude can't even headbang in that helmet. Could you? Maybe with this, you would hit with this. Might hurt, actually. Maybe. It should be here, though, shouldn't it, if you really want to head... yeah. Oh my gosh. The front near the cheeks have those weird grooves. True. Seem like they would catch rather than deflect swords. Well, now, of course, it's not like this is going to be optimized for anything, but the looks... Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, the looks are also important. It's form and function, right? Even all the way up to the late Middle Ages, it's form and function. Form was part of the way any type of armor was built. Like, you have to consider form as well. People want to look cool. People always wanted to look cool. Looking amazing was, in fact, a little bit of a, particularly in medieval period, I'm sure you're familiar with this, but if you looked rich, it would be a little bit of a life insurance, because if you're covered in an armor that is clearly extremely expensive, with gilded parts and with extreme craftsmanship and super polished, then obviously your enemy is going to be like, this guy's worth more money alive for a ransom, so do not end him. We want him alive. So in a way, it makes you harder to take out, and because people have to be careful. You can take them out, but they shouldn't and you. So that makes it gives you an advantage. Also gives you the advantage that it's extremely protective, very effective and all that. That's the obvious one. And then there is the advantage that even if you are subdued, they are not going to stick a rondella in your eye through the eye slot while everyone keeps you down, because they will ransom you back to your family. So looking awesome is also that. And then there is the a little bit of a propagandistic aspect of it in ancient Rome, where they wanted the emperors. That's why oftentimes the emperors, whether it be in ancient Rome or the Holy Roman Empire, they are dressed in armor, because the armor gives them status and it makes them look incredible, almost outworldly, and it helps reinforcing their image to the populace. There is a lot that goes into it. So I'm not against the idea of I want the armor to look cool, but it's always form and function. So function is always part of the what an armor is supposed to do. And the only examples that I can think of is some heroic armor of the Renaissance, because sometimes it would still work, by the way, but there were sometimes some choices where you look at it and you're like, yeah, no one is going to take that helmet in battle, is he? So sometimes that happens. And similarly, that happens with Kawari Kabuto in Japan, the very weird helmets, but then again, they were not worn for battle, the ones that have like super tall, crazy paper decorations and whatnot. Let me show you. So we saw the bad. Am I right, guys? We saw the bad. We saw the awful. We should now have a look at the good. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it stopped it. Well, I need to find him again. 1 second, please. I'll find him in a second. I know his name. Hellenic Armor. Boom, found it. So, if on Facebook you look for Hellenic Armors, you will find, in my opinion, one of the best craftsmen when it comes to this. I think he's Greek, by the way. And yeah, let me show you the armor that Nolan could have had in the movie. Get ready, guys, because, yeah, this is going to be credible. In fact, we should check. Oh my gosh, look at that plate of bronze. Whew. And that's nice. That's nice. Did you notice that the bronze that is mostly using, not always, but the bronze that are using looks dull gold? That is because in period, that's probably a lot of the weapons and armor, they would have looked like that. I have a dedicated video on the actual chromatic look of bronze, because it has multiple possibilities depending on the constituents. This is the Dendra armor. And again, this would be period accurate. But to be fair, I wouldn't put the actor into this. Okay? I wouldn't. However, something like this, absolutely. I think it looks phenomenal. Let me see if we can find... Oh my gosh. Look at this. Could you imagine the bronze glittering in the sun? By the way, like the ancient Greek sources tell us it did. Not matte black. Bronze glittering not only in the sun before the battle, but we are also told in ancient Greek literature that their bronze polished helmets would glitter in the moon, under the moon, at night. That's what we're told. Let's go, let's go. You know what? Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Look at this. Look at this. Gosh. These are not heroes, I don't know what is. Incredible. Incredible. I want to see if I can show you some better pictures. It is beautiful, yeah. I want to show you. So we're going to go to Hellenic Armor's website, because he's got some beautiful pictures. There we go, found him. And there we go. Look at this. There he is, the guy, Panoples, Mycenaean. Let's go Mycenaean, right? Like, we want to be accurate. Can you imagine if the actor was in this? Can I click it? Can I click it? Could you imagine? Like when he turns around, I'm going to do the movie scene. I'm going to do it, guys. Let me see if there is a picture from the back. This is from the back, isn't it? Like he's from the back, you see this. And then he slowly turns around. and you see all of this as it glitters in the sun, and the guy turns around to face you like this exactly. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's like a human god among men. And he could have done it. Nolan could have had this for freaking Agamemnon, Menelaus. I don't know how to read it in English, for crying out loud. Or if you're like, I don't know if this is my favorite, fine, we'll find one. I'll find you one. Even this one, I think looks incredible to me. Even this one with the horns, I think they're awesome. And maybe you could say, yeah, but the movie director is not into the horns. Fine, remove the freaking horns. Leave everything else, though. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of different patterns. Once again, from the back, you see this with his hair long, almost as mine. You see this, and then he turns around with the music and the shot. You know, the armor actually looks incredible. This actually looks a lot more comfortable than the Dendra. That's why I'm saying, like, I get it why I personally wouldn't have suggested Dendra, even though it's fascinating as a design, this one, I personally wouldn't suggest it. But this, even this one with the 4 horns, holy moly, look at this. Again, you see him from the back, you approach, you see this, then he turns around. Oh my gosh, looks like a freaking Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya, almost. Then he looks at you like this. You can still see the face, the face of the expensive actor, because all of this armor didn't cover the face anyways. Bronze Age armor, guys, is phenomenal. I have to say, before we get to this level of craftsmanship again, you gotta wait to the Middle Ages. In fact, late Middle Ages, before we get to this level of incredible craftsmanship. And even the Romans didn't do this, and I'm a Rome fanboy. And the Romans have some incredibly elaborate armors. In fact, when it comes to the muscle cuirass, the Romans were more decorative. So if you see like a breastplate, a musculata armor, and it has a lot of stuff in it, then it's Roman, because the Greeks kept those a little more on the plain side usually. But this, to me, it's even superior than Roman. Even some of the best that the Romans had to offer. It is just gorgeous. Now, let's see what you guys think about these, and then I'll tell you more, because today, I came prepared, guys. I came prepared. It was basically like wearing a Ferrari. Pretty much, yeah, of course. Only the most successful and wealthiest members of... So this is all bronze. This is going to be crazy expensive. Don't imagine an entire army like that. But still, it is incredible. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So this guy, Hellenic Armor, is incredible. And you can buy it, by the way. If you're looking for a way to ruin your family and be financially responsible, you can order that. He's accepting orders right now. Yeah. Following now, you should, yeah. Now, you could argue, because you're lovely like that, you could argue, right, but maybe Nolan doesn't know who he is, right? He doesn't know he exists, and so he couldn't have done it. And I came prepared. I told you I came prepared because I got something to show you. 1 second, please. 1 second, please. I'm going to show you one thing now, and I have proof, sort of, that Nolan did. He knows exactly who this guy is. Let me see where I put it, because of course, there we go, I found it. Yeah. So this is from the guy himself, the Hellenic Armors, and we read, this is a post of his. 2.5 months ago, I received an email. This is from a while ago. 2.5 months ago, I received an email from one of the main associates, very well-known professional Hollywood costume designer of Christopher Nolan, the producer of the new American movie Odyssey. The collaboration proposal was to do with the armor of the movie protagonists, as we refer to the Mycenaean era. They had seen my related work online and thought they should present the heroes in realistic armor. Unfortunately, there was no continuity in communication. The result is to once again use low-fidelity armor from the dressing room referring to the classic period. A unique opportunity for historical realism was lost. The email is there for any malicious doubters. And this is directly from him. Yeah. So, yeah, we could have had it, guys. It was this close. We could have had it. It is, to me, disagree if you want, but to me it's a missed opportunity for once. And you know what's crazy? When you go around Twitter, you see this. How? Like, this guy is getting millions of views. Good for him. I mean, I'm glad. It's, a few $100. Greek Darth Vader, 3 times better than historical accuracy. I mean, you gotta be joking for engagement at this point. So I do ask, how do you see this and think that this is better? You say smart guy. Yeah, I imagine he's doing it on purpose because he's getting Muppets like me triggered, and then I'm gonna quote it and he's gonna make more money. And at that point, I'm like, good. Maybe, you know what, it would be amazing? If Dr. I don't know, whoever the heck you are, I'm gonna say it right now on stream for everyone to see. If this goes even more viral, because right now it's at what? 1 million maybe? Where is he? Oh, I thought, 2.9 million. There we go. So that's already probably with how, because he's a blue check, so he's going to get paid. We get paid on X. But in my experience, 3 million views on X probably is going to get a few $100s from it. But imagine this goes monumentally viral, and he gets like 100 million views, then makes a few $1,000s, and then he spends the money to order one of these, and then posts a picture requoting himself to be like, thanks guys. Ooh, that would be amazing. I seriously hope he does that. Because that would be fantastic, guys. That would be fantastic. But, or even better, my post should go viral so I can get this without destroying the financial security of my beautiful family. How about that? But yeah, that was the first part of the stream where we talked about Nolan. Let me close the tabs that I don't need anymore. What is this saying? Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey trailer is absolute cinema. Is it now? Universal Pictures has released the first official trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, and Nolan's head, we have never been so back. What? How? I feel like I live in an alternative reality, guys. When you uglify something, it's considered better. I feel like I stepped into a portal that took me into this land of complete madness. In his follow-up to Academy Award-winning Oppenheimer, Nolan adapts Homer's Greek epic with an all-star cast. Matt Damon. Every time I pronounce this name, by the way, Damon, I feel like I'm saying demon with a southern accent from America, like somewhere in Alabama or Tennessee. Matt Damon plays Odysseus, the King of Ithaca. Yeah. In Greek, it's Ithaki, for those who are interested. He is one of the 10 of thousands of Greeks who fought in the Trojan War, which I do believe happened, by the way. I had a little bit of a clash with a creator once. Not really a crash, but I think it happened. It's his ruse of the Trojan horse that finally breached the walls of Troy and puts an end to the decade-long siege. No idea what he's on about. And yeah, of course, Odyssey's journey quickly goes awry. Oh, yeah, so you're explaining freaking Odyssey. Okay, we didn't skip class. Between sweeping shots of the ocean, teasers of the Trojan horse sequence, and riveting storm sequences that leave Damon in bedraggled wet cat mode, who the heck? The trailer is a visual feast. Now, I'll give him that. There were some nice things. I loved the undead. I loved the Cyclops. And the shipwreck, like, storm scenes did look pretty nice. So I'll give him that. Yeah. And he says, and don't even get me started on the stirring score. My ears can only get so pumped. I don't know, man, you're giving man, woman, whatever you are or identify as, you are giving him, I think, too much credit. And I will be a hateful bigot against Inaccurate Armor. I am, if there is one thing that I am absolutely derogatory, intolerant towards, in fact, it is a form of phobia. It really is a form of phobia. I am afraid, in the literal sense, of this. In a way, well, I don't know, because to be a phobia, it needs to be irrational. I think it's very rational. But I am a costume armor phobe. Absolutely. Yes, that's me. And with that being said, that concludes the sections about the Odyssey for now. I might rant about it later a little more. But how about we jump to the next topic? And before we do that, by the way, I've got some names for you today. I've got some names, my friends. I have got some names. But before we do that, let me see what you guys are saying. Let me see what you guys are saying. 1 second, please. There we go. I'm just gonna leave this as a background. Move you back. Let's give you a little bit of attention and space, because it doesn't have to be about me. I think that's the problem with a lot of content creators these days. It's all about the ego. It's all about me. Let's do you. Let's do you a little bit. What do you guys think? Doesn't have to be about me all the time. I don't like how this Odyssey movie look. Petite, I couldn't have put it better myself. See, I've been speaking for an hour, and all I needed, that's classy. Me, sometimes I'm classy, sometimes I'm not. This is not one of those times. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. You're disappointed in the Myrmidons, of course you are. I understand that. You just watched the trailer, yeah, I know. The longship Drakar. Drakar or Drekar, I'm not actually sure. In fact, if you speak a Nordic language, do let us know the correct pronunciation, because some people read them Drakar, but I've heard a person telling me, no, that's not how you pronounce it, it's actually Drekar. You tell me, guys, if you speak the language. Yeah. Thank you, Spectre. If you want a modern interpretation of the Odyssey, then just play Hades 2. Game is filled with people from the Odyssey. Actually, you know, my wife played Hades 1, and she said it was great. And then I think she did buy Hades 2. I'm not sure she played it, though, because lately she's been playing Genshin a lot. I took pride in my body armor in war. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Triggered by inauthenticity, absolutely. That's like, yeah, my life in 2 words. Gladiator 2, oh my gosh, don't even bring it up. Gladiator 2. Yeah. Funny thing, though, about Gladiator is that there are a lot of things they did wrong in Gladiator 2. It was a complete mess. The sharks are fine, though. I've seen people complain about the sharks. No, the sharks are mentioned in ancient Roman sources. The Romans were farming sharks in the coasts outside of, not only like outside of Rome, but literally in the center of Italy. There are some coastlines that we know for a fact that they used to farm sharks. Now, given, could they put sharks in the Colosseum or in the arenas when they are flooded for the so-called naumachia? Maybe, but sharks inside the arena are not mentioned. What are mentioned are crocodiles. And then other beasts of the waters. Could that include sharks? Maybe. The one that is not a maybe is the crocodiles. Could they have transported a shark? It depends on the species. Because there are sharks that even today are complicated to move around because of the way they breathe. But there are, you know, if they don't move, they don't breathe. So it's a problem. If you put them in a box, they're not good. Yeah, you gotta be really quick. With that being said, there are some species of sharks, I really looked into this, they use a different form of breathing, which is called buccal pumping. And those can be moved safely. So it's not completely impossible due to the fact that the Romans did farm sharks. Yeah. So it kind of depends. I looked into it. So again, so the sharks, maybe it's not the one thing we want to attack when it comes to Gladiator 2. The skull crusher of corn, Gladiator, on top of the rhino, that one is something that we can complain about. To make it accurate, just remove the freaking skull crusher of corn from Warhammer and put the rhino. Rhinos are mentioned, monkeys are mentioned. When it comes to the monkeys, in fact, it's probably baboons, Osinocephalus monkeys. That's another possibility if we interpret the sources literally. So yeah, there are quite a lot of animals that you could put in the Colosseum to make a spectacle, because guess what? That's exactly what they did in classical antiquity. They made a spectacle, and although the amount of money that ancient Romans spent on lions, it's such a deep topic because it changes. It's like the Romans loved it. It's like, how are you going to show off, if you're a leader in ancient Rome, how much money you have and how much influential you are? You spend a lot of money in lions. Like, I'm not joking. I actually filmed a video I have, ladies and gentlemen, a video already filmed when I bring all of the data when it comes to how much money the Romans spent in lions for gladiatorial games. The only reason why I haven't posted it is because these videos, they don't get views. And so I've recently on the main channel, which is why I created the 4th channel anyways, because I'll post it, but you guys won't see it because you don't get the notification. Now, I still post them. Just a couple of days ago, I saw a comment, someone saying, man, I wish you still posted some Roman content. It's a shame you just do drama. And I'm like, man, I literally posted a dedicated video on ancient Roman architecture and specifically how they built their aqueducts throughout the empire the day before. But the video doesn't get notifications, so people don't know. So I will post it eventually, the one about Romans and lions and gladiatorial games and looking at the list and translating from Latin. I'll post it, guys, but you won't see it. And that is the one thing that annoys me the most when it comes to, I know I'm kind of complaining a little bit now, but I guess it's therapeutic for me. That's the thing that gets me the most, before popularity, before money, because I'll make the money anyways. I post 60 times a month. So one way or the other, I'll provide. But what really annoys me is that people like you that would enjoy the content don't get notified and don't get to watch what you enjoy. That's the thing that really gets me when it comes to how YouTube has been treating the notifications when it comes to this channel. I hope it changes in the future. What I've tried to do is, and in fact, you might want to keep an eye on that, consider this as a little bit of an announcement, is I've been using the community tab, or posts, if you will. So whenever I post something that is historical, or I post something that I think is good, but didn't get the notifications, even if it's a different topic, I repost it on the community tab to try and get like a few extra notifications sent. So maybe keep an eye on the posts or the community tab, like it used to be talked about, it used to be called, because you might find some historical content in there that you may have liked but didn't get notified of. You loved the aqueduct video? Well, I'm glad, Record the Fox, you are one of the chosen ones that were actually notified. You're saying it here. I appreciate that. Have you considered joining Rumble? My man, this is Rumble right here. That's another thing. I've been saying that I am on Rumble and I post like a maniac on Rumble. I've been saying it for a month now, but once again, when I say it, it doesn't get to you. Like, I make posts, I make links, but anything that has to do with in fact, even me saying the word, maybe I should call it green content platform, because me saying the word is going to give trouble because it's, goodness gracious. So yeah, I'm on Rumble, all right. I post every single day. Water supply. We love water supply. Yeah. So that's lovely. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Okay, I think I need more water. I finished my water. I'm going to get an extra drink. I'm going to leave you with the chair, which is the sponsor, by the way. This is a sponsor. We're already done with the contribution. I just like the chair. So I'm going to leave you with the chair, but because this is a new chair, guys, don't be polite to the chair. Treat it nicely for once. I don't think I'm asking too much. Treat it nicely. The chair, that is. And I'll be right back So meta chair, guys. Let me see, by the way, how are the... let me see the statistics very quickly, which is something I probably should have checked before. Okay, 100 people watching on Rumble actually is not bad. Not at all. How is YouTube doing? YouTube will go 500 people. You know, today's a good day. Today's a good day. Appreciate that. All right, so please don't mistreat the chat. I'll be right back. Chat stream. Be honest. Did you mistreat the chair? I'm on a no. So you might as well come clean right now. You might as well come clean. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next part of the stream, shall we? Well, let me check chat very quickly, and then we'll move to the next section. There you go. So how are we doing? Chair. Great. Yeah, chair is not too insulting. Unless the chair identifies as a sofa, in which case. Let me see. Hi from Norway. Hey, Sir Nefarious. Good to have you here. Thank you very much. 1996, Diablo get claimed because game music on YouTube. Really? Oh, that's insane. I wanted to play Diablo 1996 actually on a live stream at one point. Your chat told us you put pineapple on pizza. I do not believe you. I do not believe it. Yeah, this is not a monitor, it's a terminal. That's correct. Good memory. Good memory. This is a terminal from the 80s. Historically, Greek armor is very cool, I agree. It doesn't look mean enough with the horns? Well, I mean, I guess I can see it, but still. You mean like the black armor? I know, but the Darth Vader look, it's terrible. Not a PC monitor, it's just a terminal. It's not a PC monitor. The inside of a monitor and the inside, tech-wise, of a terminal, completely different. Completely. You could modify it if you wanted, but that would take a lot of work, and I wouldn't know how to do it. No lumbar support? Yeah, it does have lumbar support. It's down here. Yeah. Lumbar support, and also it keeps my neck like this, you know, so that's pretty nice actually. Pretty nice. Yeah. You hate people insulting the chair is fucking goodness gracious. Let me see. All right, so I've got a few videos now, changing the topic, that I wanted to check out. So let's start with the shorter ones so that we can, let's jump into reacting a little bit. Let's jump into reacting. So I'm going to react to a couple of videos now. Then I'll show you a channel that to me, it makes my blood boil. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Just remember this, after the next couple of quick reacts, and then I'm going to show you a channel, and I don't even care. He can get offended all he wants. it's a disgusting thing to watch, and we'll check it out. But first, all right, so what the heck happened with Nicki Minaj? Nicki Minaj, apparently, at least Critical has got something to say about it. I'm curious, so let's check it out. All right, let's go. Merry Christmas.
I wasn't home much yesterday, so I missed a lot of the happenings from the last 24 hours. But today, I happened to see a wacky headline. Nicki Minaj praises J.D. Vance as assassin as Erica Kirk sits next to her.
I'm sorry, what? How do you praise someone as assassin? You know about this? Well, let the long-haired man speak.
This was apparently at something called Amfest, where Nicki Minaj went up on stage to celebrate Trump and a bunch of stuff or whatever, and then okay. I guess while she was busy glazing and gobbling on like the administration's wiener, she tried to pay J.D. Vance a compliment by calling him an assassin, which obviously raises some eyebrows as Erica Kirk sits right next to her.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be a bit an inappropriate choice of language, but I'm still trying to figure out the language. What do you think she tried to say then? Did you guys watch this, the original? Oh, you know what it could be? You know when you say this guy's killing it? I think that's what she was trying to do. Yeah, you say that's bizarre, but now that I think about it, maybe that's what it is. She was trying to... Oh, that's crazy. And you're saying Erica's response was graceful. It doesn't... I think Erica is a wonderful and very strong woman. I don't even care if this gets me hatred. She's getting so much hatred. I can get a little bit of hatred just to have, at least for once, a person who speaks positively about her. So it doesn't surprise me that she didn't go like into the offended route, which, to be honest, I mean, it's a little out of place, isn't it? Let's go.
Whose husband was literally assassinated. Ordinarily, I'd put the clip here so you could hear it for yourself, but I don't want to take a chance of DMCA, especially with how rampant that kind of shit's been going on. Yeah. You can watch it yourself if you want, though, but she immediately recognizes the blunder. She kind of scholars mated herself there by using that word. To me, it probably sounds like an Austin Powers type moment where, don't say mole, don't say mole, don't say mole, mole. Where she was trying so hard not to use the word assassin, but then for some reason, her fucking neurons couldn't fire properly, and all she could think of for a compliment for J.D. Vance was that he's an assassin. And Erica Kirk tries to, dispel the awkwardness and, reassure her, it's okay, and try and make light of it and move on from it. But What a weird compliment to try and pay somebody. Who says that? Oh.
As I tell you, I think the idea was, this guy's killing it. I really think that's what it is. Yeah. But that is awkward. I mean, and then again, though, if I were to speak at an event like this, I'm going to be honest with you, I would memorize the speech. I've done it before. I've spoken publicly, whether it be at church, for instance, giving talks, or sometimes at university when I was teaching through the EU funds of university and research back in the day, or in general I was doing some presentations, and even in high school when it comes to Japanese language learning and proficiency and culture, that kind of stuff. I've done this for many years, and when I was speaking in front of a large crowd and you're being recorded and all of that, I prepared the whole talk. And then I memorized the entire thing. Given I can go out off of script if I want to, but the core of what I'm going to say is prepared. Now, I understand if you're not given enough notice, then you might not have time to do something like this. Some people don't like the idea of memorizing and they just bring in cards. I think that's awkward at that point. Maybe write down just a few items of discussion so you don't forget the topics you want to talk about and then improvise it in front of the mic. But goodness gracious, if I was speaking in front of the presidency of the United States, I'd say I would rehearse it a few times. Anyways, it's clearly a slip of the tongue. Personally, the only person that could feel a bit awkward about it would be Erica Kirk. But if Erica's fine with it, I think we can all be fine with it. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
This guy's so epic. He's so awesome. He's an assassin. That's like something a middle schooler would say on fucking Xbox Live or something.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Who says that shit? Now, that's not the only thing I wanted to yap about here. Obviously, that's just a weird, wacky little thing. But Nicki Minaj's presence at an event like this is so head-scratching to me because she herself is not a U.S. citizen. I don't know how many people know this or how many people just forgot. She herself talks about not being a U.S. citizen and that she is literally an illegal immigrant. Oh. In 2018, she even made a whole statement about it with what was happening to immigrants.
She must be like not naturalized, but there has to be some kind of visa. Do you guys know about this? The idea of a non-citizen who speaks about, for instance, American politics, nothing wrong with that if you live in America, personally. In fact, anyone can speak about anything. It's not like if sometimes you guys in the comments tell me what you think about Meloni in Italy. It's not like some of you love her, some of you hate her. Regardless, it's not like I'm going to go to you and tell you, well, are you Italian? Then don't speak about Meloni. No, speak away. Who cares? But share your opinion. That's okay. But let me see. Nicki Minaj shared an emotional message to Instagram on Wednesday, speaking out about the migrant children being torn away from their parents at the US and Mexico border, while sharing her own experience of coming to America as an immigrant. But is she illegal, like Critical is saying?
Back then, and how her heart was breaking for it, telling the story of how she came to this country at 5 years old, an illegal immigrant. She was discussing how she can't even imagine being separated from her parents at 5 years old and everything that was happening then. And since, she still has not become an American citizen. In 2024, only a year ago, she once again opened up reiterating, confirming she is still not an American citizen.
That doesn't mean she's illegal, though. If she was illegal when she was 5, probably through what she does, she got some kind of work visa. Because, I mean, the kind of money that she makes, obviously the government is going to find a workaround to get those taxes. That's just me. So just because she's not a citizen, it doesn't mean that she's illegal. That it's like different stages, right? You got illegal, legal, resident, and then you have... And then even the legal residence, you can be permanent, a permanent residence. There are all sorts of different stages. Like in Japan, I had a 3 years work visa. Here was also a 3-year marriage visa, but it got extended. And I am going through citizenship myself. Not everyone has to, though. You don't have to become a citizen if you don't want to.
Despite paying so many millions in taxes and all that.
Yeah, of course.
So her going on stage yesterday and being like, the president is dashing and handsome, it gives me like the same feeling as someone who's trying so hard to avoid getting in trouble by trying to like butter up the person that can really fuck them.
She's not going to get in trouble. She's not going to get in trouble. I don't think so. Like, I can see how he can believe that, but who's going to deport her? It's not going to happen. Also, I think she was buttering up the vice president, to be a little pedantic here. A little pedantry, guys. I personally heard a couple of things that Vance said recently, and I thought it was based. I'm just going to say it. In fact, I like Vance more than Trump out of the two. And I think that 2028 elections, Vance should be the next candidate, not Trump's son. And personally, I don't think it's even legal for Trump to try and become president again. Am I right? So yeah, I like Vance. He has said a couple of things in the past that I was like, that's cringe. But in general, I think he's good. I like the way. And remember, he shit talk Hasan Piker. That alone gives him like 50 points. 50 points. Then we can discuss policy. But as an individual, and it's funny that oftentimes I've seen people that try to hate on Vance, and they try to paint him as a racist, but the guy's married to a brown woman. So good luck with that. But they still try. And I even have a dedicated episode where I was showing that they say that when a white man marries a non-white, it's a slave fetish. No, I'm going to say that when a white man marries anyone, unless you have reasons to think otherwise, how about perhaps they're in love? So there is that. Let's go.
Like, oh, you're just so smart and striking. Devilishly talented, by the way. Did I tell you that? Honestly, I'd go as far as to call you like a god, even an assassin. Like, it feels like she's so over the top. Maybe she's worried about getting deported herself.
No, I don't. I mean, I can see how his audience is going to like this. But no. And again, I liked Critical. Agree or disagree, I like Critical. There was only one time when he said something and I'm like, I'm not going to watch this guy ever again. But then he clarified and I'm like, okay, I'm cool then. It was the thing about kids. But he clarified it. He clarified it and I believe him. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. It's something that I do because my haters don't. So I like not being like that and not do to others what people do to me, or instead do to others what I would wish people did to me. So I like Critical. I enjoy watching him. I think he's pretty cool. And I love his gaming content more than anything. Not that he talks about politics much. He's quite milquetoast, to be honest. But whenever he does talk about politics, I think we have kind of different ideas on a few things. But with that being said, yeah, no, I like him. I like him.
Or something, so now she's trying to like suckle the titty here of this administration and like hide in its ranks as, you know, a public figure. So now she's just stuck looking like a fucking imbecile. Yeah, this administration is perfect, like Frosted Flakes, they're great. Yeah, who just said Epstein files? Someone shoot that guy. Yeah.
Nah, the Epstein files have been released. It's fine. It's happening. I don't think the Epstein file can be used again as a situation. And I was one of those who was like, show us the Epstein file like yesterday. With that being said, maybe I'm just gonna say Critical. Maybe it's not a matter of she's scared of being deported. Who the heck is gonna deport someone who pays that kind of money in taxes? Let's be real for a moment. Let's be real. No, I think maybe she just actually likes the administration, you know, because some people do. So maybe it's that simple. Maybe she just actually likes Vance, not even the administration as a whole. Maybe she just likes freaking Vance. That's my detective work. That's what I think.
U.S. citizens, all of us, my fellow U.S. citizens, we gotta stick together. We love U.S. citizens like me, am I right? That kind of thing, like she's cutting fucking WWE promos. But I think there also might be another explanation here.
Let's see.
Again, just another game theory.
What is it?
Maybe she's not looking to protect herself. Maybe she's fishing for a pardon for her sex offender husband. Since Trump likes to hand out pardons like they're fucking Girl Scout cookies, I think...
They all do, by the way. It's true that Trump has done some pardons that made me raise an eyebrow, but have we forgotten about Biden pardoning his own son? So let's not pretend that they all do it. When you have power, they do it. Am I right?
I think there also might be this play from Nicki Minaj here to try and get one of those for her husband, Kenneth Petty, who is literally a registered sex offender. Maybe she's trying to make it so he no longer has to keep re-upping that and getting in trouble when he refuses to do so, like recently when he had to go under house arrest for failure to register as a sex offender. So perhaps maybe she's trying to get in their good graces so she can then float the idea to Trump about, like, pardoning Kenneth. After the never-ending circus that has been the Epstein files, especially the most recent shenanigans here, it should be painfully obvious that the government is more than willing to bend over backwards to protect sex offenders and the most evil, heinous people on the planet imaginable. So,
well, to be honest, I think it's even better to say it this way, to put it this way. The government is a system, and the system will always protect itself. Like, serve and protect, even the police. And I have a lot of respect for police officers and people in blue. I do. Every time, like, if I interact with a cop, I'm always polite, respectful, because this is the system, it's where I live, and I'm not special. I'm not the guy who is like, you're not going to tell me what to do. Yes, they are, because we live in society, and there are laws, and so if you don't like that, you can move to a jungle. So no, it's with all of that, serve and protect means serve and protect the system. The system.
It's not a far-fetched idea to think that maybe Nicki Minaj is making a play like that to try and get that special treatment for her husband.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, anyway, I mean,
maybe.
I just found it to be a really interesting fit here. This is one of those situations, you know, the call's coming from inside the house. This shit feels a little odd because she herself is fundamentally the exact opposite of everything Amfest was presenting based on all the other clips I've seen. She is an illegal immigrant. She's not a U.S. citizen, and her husband is a sex offender.
You know, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna fact check fact check my friend here. I mean, from my point of view, he's cool, but I'm going to fact check him. So Nicki Minaj, I need to see if she's illegal. I don't think she is. I really don't. Google. Nicki Minaj, immigration status. Not a U.S. citizen of Trinidad. Let's have a look. Immigrated at age 5 as an undocumented child, though she has lived in America most of her life, paid millions in taxes. She's openly discussed the status, expression surprise she hasn't received citizenship, described her contribution. I mean, that's a point. And has previously spoken against. So we get it that she entered the US as an illegal, but is she an illegal now? I doubt it, honestly. I think she's not. She's probably... You think she can't pay a lawyer to find... actually, I'll tell you. It's called, because I know that, adjustment of status. Look it up. Adjustment of status. That's what an immigration lawyer can do when you're already in the country. You entered, for instance, not necessarily legally, but even if you entered as a tourist, right? If you overstay, then you are in the country legally. But imagine that in the meantime, an actual employer decided, you know what? No, I will pay for your visa and will get you the actual status, the actual permit to live here. Or perhaps, I mean, again, this is kind of a difficult. I'm not going to talk about marriage for now, but in general, I'm saying, let's say that something happens and now you can live in the US legally, then what you do is an adjustment of status. It is a procedure that can be done. 100% that's what happened. 100% that's what happened, guys. That's what I think, at least. Okay. Where is he? I lost him, guys. Is he playing Resident Evil again? That was a pretty cool series of streams, by the way. I'll get back to chat in a minute. I want to let the man finish because it's 15 seconds. Then I'll see what you guys have to say. And then we'll move into the next one.
I don't know, sports fans. Maybe I'm on the crack pipe, but that doesn't exactly sound like the ingredients, the recipe to a perfect fit for the conference she was attending here. But, what do I know at the end of the day? I just wanted to yap about it. That's about it. See ya.
That's about it. See ya. What do you guys think? I expressed my opinions. Let's see what you guys think. So here, the speech is protected, my friends. Sort of. Well, not really. Because if you type stuff that YouTube doesn't like, your comment is going to get blocked. Can't do anything about that, sorry. It doesn't need to be a perfect fit. I agree. Maybe she just likes it. Maybe she's a conservative. I haven't got a clue. Honestly. Maybe. Are you just going to do videos today? No, I'm hoping to be able to play a little bit, but it depends. It always depends if I get a headache or not. We're going to do a few videos, yes, but I've got some good stuff. Hope you've been well. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Permanent resident. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm a legal resident and a permanent resident. That's me. I have a green card. 100%. If I have a green card, she has a green card, guys. There's no questioning. No question. Moist always panders to the milquetoast popular opinions. Yeah, and I mean, it's his right if he doesn't want to tackle topics that can be divisive or polarize. That's fine. It's his choice. It's his channel. But yeah, usually he gives... You know what? Say what you will. He did make... with how milquetoast usually he is, I was really surprised that he did make a video on Charlie Kirk's assassination. And on that video, and he must have got a lot of hatred from a big chunk of his audience, or at least some of his audience, maybe not a big chunk. But he said this is one of my grass is green takes from Charlie, but it's an awful thing, and the assassination is terrible, and I wouldn't wish that one on anyone for expressing their ideas. That is not a milquetoast, not in this time. And I know for a fact that there are plenty of people in his community that thought, oh, is he becoming now a right-wing bigot? Because that's what it is. It is a far-right take these days to say it's awful that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The take that his audience some of his audience would have expected from him was either to say nothing or to say, well, Charlie Kirk was a bigot. Or he was a fascist and that kind of stuff. So I appreciated that because it's not easy to do that. you might think is easy simply because maybe that's the way you think. You're like, when people get, it's bloody murder, can we not condemn it? But the reality is, depending on the circles, I got backlash myself when I condemned people laughing at Rob Reiner a few uploads ago, and I got some backlash for it. I still did it because I believed in it. And do you think I liked the kind of stuff that Rob Reiner said? Absolutely not. But it doesn't matter, because I don't believe in dancing on people's graves, and I don't believe in pointing the finger and laughing when there are other members of the same family that are still grieving, say, for instance, his daughter. I think it's out of place. At that point, I'll say, well, I hope that he's with Jesus, and I hope that that his family is going to be okay. That's what I say. So once again, I've done that with Charlie Kirk. I've done that with Rob Reiner. Not the same thing, of course. I'm not, because people are going to be like, oh, you mean to say that they are the same thing? No, one was a political assassination. Obviously, it's not the same thing. With that being said, I did appreciate that Critical said that, because you might think it's a milquetoast take. It is not, particularly with some of the audience he has, which is very left-leaning. And again, not every left person is pro-murder, obviously, when it comes to what happened to Charlie Kirk, but he has got some of those, absolutely has got some of those nut jobs, and they hated him for it. Do you get headaches often? Sort of. Maybe not as often. Like, my cousin gets a headache every day. Me, maybe once a week. Sometimes I'm lucky and I go 2 weeks without a headache. It depends. I think, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I get a headache because of all the lights on my face. In fact, during the live stream at one point, I'm going to turn off some of the lights. I hope you don't mind. I know, exactly. Charlie Kirk was not a racist and he was not a fascist. I agree with you. Absolutely. People that think that Charlie Kirk was a racist, they either know it's not true, but then now they're so deep in it that they have to call everyone a racist or a fascist. Or they have been poorly edited clips and they got convinced that he was something he wasn't, because he wasn't. He wasn't racist. I do not believe Charlie Kirk was racist. One bit. Dark meta is best meta. I appreciate that. In fact, you know what? Boom. Thank you. I needed a little bit of this. Feels better for me. I don't know how streamers do it. Like, you know, streamers like the Roach King, which we're going to watch in a second because I need my daily dose. Streamers like the Roach King that stream for like 10 hours straight every day. I don't know how they do it. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. CK was a heretic to anti-whites, anti-whiteism. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's... I need a little bit, guys. Not too much. In fact, to prove to you that I mean it, today, I want to check out a couple of his clips. So I'm not reacting to Asmongold TV. For that, we need one of those days when we're like, you know what, today I want to watch an hour and a half of Asmongold. But now I want to check out a few of his clips because they make me laugh. I love Asmongold, he's great. And what I see here is an angry Hasan Piker, and that's always a great way to turn around your day. So I'm going to check this one out. I'm going to start with this one. What's going on then?
What? Even Asmongold took Trump's dick out of his mouth on this one? Yeah, because because he's fucking seeing the tea leaves, okay? That's the other thing.
The only problem I have with reacting to Hasan Piker and sometimes Asmongold speaking over Hasan Piker is that in editing, I have to literally sanitize everything, because particularly Hasan Piker, Asmongold as well, but Hasan Piker uses the F word every 3 seconds. Sometimes he spams them, and it's so vulgar, this guy, that I need, because he doesn't care, he's got the millions already, but if I leave that in my videos, the RPM, so the amount of money you get, revenue per mil, it's gonna go down to freaking $2.
I've had this viewpoint ever since the beginning. If you go and you look Asmongold Epstein, I probably released more videos about Epstein.
Yeah.
Million views, 1.1 million views, 2.4 million views. I forgot about this.
But the people that he activated, the video game streamers, Asmongold, who said he's out there acting like he's guilty.
The entire idea I was sweeping for this ever. Before Hasan had a 40-minute segment smearing you, even LSF commenters defending you. Oh, jeez.
He knows the ship is sinking. He's gonna pull out. He's He's going to be like, yeah, I like Trump for the anti-immigrant stuff, but this Israel stuff is not for me.
Asmon sided with Israel. I mean, I don't know if we can pull up the video of like me watching the Benjamin Netanyahu speech from like 2 years ago, where I was very clearly against America's involvement with Israel.
It's not like the reality matters when it comes to Hasan Piker, am I right? He's just going to say whatever he wants. He has lied before. I have proven it multiple times. He has lied about his own upbringing, whether or not he was affluent or whether or not he brought up in poverty. Depends on the point he's trying to make when it comes to wealth redistribution patterns, socialism versus capitalism, the usual stuff that Hasan Piker whines about. And he will change his own upbringing depending. So of course he's going to lie about what Asmongold's positions are. He's never going to, in good faith, approach or discuss anything that Asmongold says, ever.
We know why he's going with this angle. This is the shareholder meeting, okay? We all have shares, everybody in the American public. I hope he's using my money fucking well. Yeah, America first. Yeah, we should focus on America and not fucking Israel. It's amazing that anybody thinks that's a good idea.
Is now turned around and saying the primary party responsible for anti-Semitism growing in America is Israel. It's like, bitch, that's my take.
If I look up and it's bright outside, and he looks up and it's bright outside, it doesn't mean I stole the fucking sky from...
He is correct. Man, Asmongold cooks Hasan so well. No wonder Hasan is like obsessed with him.
Hasan. It means I have a fucking neck. You just look. Oh, wow.
And I love that this guy says 1 year from now. Actually, guys,
trans people are kind of base, and I don't know what the Republicans are going so hard against them. I mean, they just want freedom to live their life, and isn't what America's for. So Hasan saying this for Hogwarts Legacy?
I did. I wanted to play it. I was excited for it. Truly feel like the backlash that will come of this is just not worth it because, goddamn, trans posters can be very, very, very unhinged. God forbid. Goddamn, trans posters can be very, very, very unhinged. God forbid.
And you know what's funny is that he was right.
There are people that I've seen defending Asmongold being like, well, he changed his mind. No, he didn't.
Wait a minute. Are my opinions changing or am I consistent?
Asmongold 100% spent the last 2 years going after every single person.
Because you guys used Israel's bad behavior as a shield for your own. You can't tell me that Frogan...
He's cooking. He's cooking. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Let me see. Because I saw... One second. Because this thing, I'm getting invested in this situation with Hasan. One moment. I used to pray for times like this. Oh, goodness gracious. I think I watched this one. We got to check because I know exactly who that is. That's an awful person. What is this?
And this is so he's thinking about me. So he's sitting there with his friend. He's watching the Game Awards, and he's still thinking about me.
Only one
rent-free
woke award.
I love how, like, I'm the focus. Like, it has nothing to do with me. Like, it really has nothing to do with me at all.
Just for context, he's pocket-watching Asmon's 120k viewers chat to find things to get mad at, while his stream dropped down to less than 20k viewers.
Is Asmongold's chat screaming woke? No, they don't mind seeing little girls.
What?
That's a little weird, isn't it? Somebody's having a bad day, huh?
Especially if the little girl is white. Now, if the little girl was black...
Just so that we are all on the same page, he's literally implying Asmon's viewers are racist pedophiles.
Yeah.
Which one of us, again, has accusations of going to a brothel and sleeping with somebody who's underage? That's very...
In Germany, I think, am I right? This thing about Hasan. And before anyone says... Because I heard people trying to defend Hasan Piker when it comes to this allegation, whether it be true or not. Believe it or not, it comes from Destiny. So we've got some trouble in Bolshevik paradise. I know. They hate each other. Yeah, just a joke. Anyways, some people said, well, but technically it was like a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old. So in Germany, that would not be illegal. I don't know what the age of consent is, but I do know that in Europe it's kind of low. With that being said, if you're an American citizen, it's still illegal. So technically, imagine that the girl was 15 or 16, I don't know. And imagine that the age of consent in Germany is 16. Then for a Germany wouldn't be illegal. That doesn't make it moral or acceptable or that you shouldn't frown upon it. That's a completely different discussion. We're talking legality here. So in that specific context, in that country, wouldn't be illegal. But from an American perspective, When it comes to 16, I think it depends on the state. Some states it's 18, some states it's 16. And the reason why I know that is because it came up on a Netflix show that I was watching, which was actually quite fun. But imagine that if the girl was 15, there is no state in America. As far as I know, you'll tell me, I don't know. But I don't think there is any state in America where that would be legal. So if he actually did that, and soliciting and all that, that would be pretty bad. And prostitution in general is illegal anyways, as someone is pointing out in chat. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you say age of consent in EU is 14. No, I think it's country dependent. I think it depends on the country. The age will vary, but it is pretty low. It is pretty low. But as a European, again, that doesn't mean that it's still in the public eye, it would be frowned upon. But that's the legality we are discussing. Anyways, please go on, Hasan Piker. Please go on.
Interesting.
Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark.
The gay shit again, someone said.
Oh my God. I love how he's watching my chat and not actually watching the show.
J. Abrams,
I'll be honest,
and the creator of Left 4 Dead,
pushing this
Mike
gay
Booth.
agenda.
So true, Austin. You've got an imposter in your house, Hasan.
By the way, this is obviously a joke. Austin is gay too. But Hasan is tunnel-visioned on hating Asmon.
Maybe he's being paid by Israel. Hasan Piker is now fighting with his own audience on how everything ties back to the Israel talking point.
Okay, my conspiracy theory is literally this.
I don't even want to hear his conspiracy theory. Let me see. So, I'm having a good time with Asmongold. I don't know about you guys. So, let me see. This is rotten to the core. More Epstein stuff, I imagine. But to be honest, watch me. Let's go. Last one, guys. I promise.
Let me guess. Is it exactly what I think it is? It is. Hasan is, what a surprise. He's upset.
More and more people from his audience peel away.
Is he talking about himself?
And people from his audience move on to different people. And when that fucking happens, maybe some of them will come here.
Please, guys. Come on, guys.
But ultimately, it doesn't even matter if they don't come here. As long as they become loyal soldiers of progress in this country.
Progress.
Is he being sarcastic about this, or does he actually mean this?
I'm happy to have them on board. They can follow along. You just really can't stop thinking about him, huh? Rent-free and everything. Sad, very sad to see you come to this. Asmongold has talked more times about me on his broadcast every single fucking day.
Are you fucking
False. False. And I wish they didn't spam the damn F word. But false. That should be the F word. The F word should be false. This is not true. I think Asmongold does prove him wrong, which is hilarious. We're going to check that one out. Was a son born with this? I don't know what the Zika virus is, to be honest. I haven't got a clue. No idea. No idea. Yeah. Yeah, only a few places are 17, 18, like Malta and Ireland. Sweden is 14. Yeah, it is. It is what it is. I think those laws should be reconsidered, but it is what it is. Hasan stuff is shocking. It is shocking, isn't it? Let me see how things would rumble. Piker is nails on a chalkboard. You're absolutely right. Man, that's a perfect representation. Varies by state in America as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's what was in, it's a Netflix series that I watched and I actually loved it. I binge watched it. It's about this couple with a couple of kids, and they live in New York City, but they buy something in New Jersey, I think. And they buy this amazing house, but then there is this stalker. I think it's called The Watcher. It's The Watcher. That's the series. At one point, they do mention this, and so that's how I knew. But anyways, let's go. Let's continue. I want to see this. Asmongold will destroy him.
kidding me? Guys, let's roll the tapes.
Yeah.
This is only for the last 2 weeks. Let's go.
2 weeks.
Asmongold. Don't click away now, Asmongold. Yeah, this is Asmongold. Asmongold. Why you like Asmongold? I would love to see an Asmongold. Asmon said earlier, an Asmongold. Tuning into Asmongold. This includes Asmongold. Shouts out to Asmongold. I will be checking in with the Asmongold chat as always. Is Asmongold's chat screaming whoa? Asmongold from Asmongold. You're gonna piss off Asmongold. From Asmongold. Oh, how the fuck is Asmongold like Asmongold? Same as Asmongold. This is all Asmongold. How hard Asmongold? The largest is Asmongold. The likes of Asmongold. Dude, me and Asmongold with Asmongold. Or an Asmongold. Defending Asmongold. Fucking Asmongold. For someone like Asmongold. Or whether it be Asmongold. Asmongold by Asmongold. Think about Asmongold. This is an Israeli Asmongold. Care about Asmon. I'm say that Asmongold, you give Asmongold too much attention to your platform, in my opinion. Actually give Asmongold's audience a fantastic opportunity opportunity to sit around and jerk off about how fucking dumb we are on the left. Because we are. If you look at Asmongold's YouTube channel versus my YouTube channel, what I choose to actually cut.
Unbelievable.
Bro, holy shit. Every time he talks, there's 2 seconds of silence every 2 words.
As the political commentary person on this platform now, botted or not botted, how much he talks about me, there is a major disparity.
Oh my God, botted or not botted, everything else. And I get it. You're down bad. Things aren't going very well. You know what your analytics are. You know you've been losing followers like crazy ever since the dog thing, right?
To be fair, I think a lot of us are losing followers these days. I've seen people... I don't know what it is with subscribers, but I think a lot of people have been unsubscribed. With this case, yeah, the shock thing, I think is a legitimate situation where he lost followers because of what he did. But there is a lot of people are lamenting a loss of subscribers these days. We have some total of all human understanding at our fingertips, yet have been so divided. Reason seems not existent in UK is terrifying currently. Yeah, I mean, the UK right now does look very different to the UK that I remember. That's for sure. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate the super chat and the membership as well. Really appreciate that. Thank you for all your support, guys. And people subscribing on Rumble, that's also very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
It's been massive.
Every one of his fans goes, oh, he obviously doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about money. He still lives in this like filthy home. That's marketing, I guess, to a certain degree.
Yes, it's marketing.
You look to someone like myself and you go, oh, Hasan is a socialist, but he dresses nice.
Yeah, it's what is called a champagne socialist.
Engaging with tremendous levels of luxury. Fucking luxury car, jewelry, luxury clothes.
Gucci! Look at the Gucci bag! You should be... I'm not saying, if you are successful and you have left-wing ideas when it comes to economics, right? It's not like I'm saying, go live in poverty. But Gucci, you should hate them. You should want to do anything you can to stay away from the likes of Hermes, Gucci, Chanel, Prada, Louis Vuitton. It is what it is. It is a massive, like he keeps saying, oh, people just tell me, yeah, you are a champagne socialist, but most importantly, you are giving money to the likes you hate. And it makes zero sense. You don't need it. You need a house. Maybe you don't need a 3 million mansion, but whatever. Hey, you're successful. Do whatever you want. You want to buy a car and you can afford a Ferrari, buy the freaking Ferrari. But with luxury brands, it's just it's a massive inconsistency, and it's insane how he's spending the money that he's getting from his subscribers while hating the rich. So he gets the money from all the subscriptions, Twitch subscribers and all that stuff. He takes all that money and gives it to Gucci. And his audience keeps giving him money as he screams socialism and power to the people and proletariat and class struggle and hate rich people. Give money to Gucci. How? I don't get it.
$3 million house, probably $4 million now. I mean, you're going a little farther, right? Do you need to go?
Look to my output. Positions on things do not change.
No. Let me think if Hasan's positions on things have changed. He used to say the word retard.
I can't argue with retard, okay? You're retarded. I'm being ableist, and you're fucking retarded.
And now he's in his virtue signal phase again, where he's not saying it based off of kind of what his audience is saying. The problem Hasan has is that he lies to people, and he does it so brazenly that people think that he's not worth trusting. If you want people to trust you and like you, you've got to stop lying to them. You're going to have people that are frustrated about that because they don't want to have that happen.
You're actually so slow. You talk.
I'm going to tell you what my position is on the so-called R word. It's basically finished. I'll let him finish and then I'll tell you.
And watch Asmon so much your viewers may as well tune into his stream.
Okay, so here is my take on that, and then I think it's good for Asmongold for today. We move to the next. And I promised you I was going to tell you about that YouTuber that I can't stand, and I'll do it now. But I'm going to tell you this much. The only way in which I would be, I'm not even sure if I will call it offended, but concerned about the usage of this word is if used in the context of you're making fun of a person who is handicapped or they have some kind of developmental issue. Then I would be like, what are you doing, man? Otherwise, It doesn't matter. It's nothing. It's a joke. There's nothing wrong, because the way people use it is to mean you're an idiot. It doesn't mean I'm making fun. Let's be honest about this. The people that use that word just use it as an alternative to say you're an absolute idiot. You're stupid. That's all it means. That's it. There's nothing to do with making fun of people who have like Down syndrome. It's not. Now, could there be, and has there been, people that use that word specifically against like a child with Down syndrome? Yes, but those are the people that I would frown upon. If someone actually does that and I'm in the middle of it and I see it, call them out. Absolutely. Be like, what are you doing? It's inappropriate. It's disgusting. Would I put them in jail? No, because I'm for freedom of speech, but I would absolutely frown upon that. But what percentage is it? What do you think? 0.005%? I don't know. But I would say the majority of people use that word, use it as a way to say idiot. And there is, who cares? Now, I tend to be a polite individual. Very rarely you'll hear me use all sorts, any type of swear words. And as a personal decision in my life, I've decided I don't use any racial slur, whether it be towards white people, Asians, black people, brown people. I don't use slurs because it's not in my character and it's not in my personality. Once again, I wouldn't make it illegal in the sense of hate speech laws because it's nonsense. They don't exist. They cannot exist in a free society. But that's that. It's really as simple as that. Anyways. Check chat, and then we move on to the next. Check chat, though. I want to see what the chat says, because I love hearing your opinions, my friends. Let's go. Merry Christmas, by the way, again. Merry Christmas, my friends. Absolutely. Scientifically accurate, depending on what. Like, to an idiot, yes, he's scientifically an idiot. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you very much for joining the stream. The Gucci stuff. Nux covered that repeatedly. Nux is based. Yeah. Hasan is such a tsundere. Oh, goodness gracious. For those who don't know, Google tsundere and go into a rabbit hole of how some girlfriend in Japanese anime can be. How goes it with the holidays? Asks Vote Shall for the fellow noble ones. Let's make it cross-platform. Why don't we all answer? Vote Shall, how are your holidays, guys? When it comes to me, I just got an incredible game delivered for my Amiga 500. I'm going to show you. And it's called Deuteros. And it's a fantastic sci-fi strategy game. And I cannot wait tonight to reward myself. Let's get some light again. With this, I cannot wait. I'm going to play it either on my Amiga 500 or on my Amiga 1200, depending on where I want to sit. I've got both functioning, and it's going to be fantastic. So that's what I'm going to do. Tomorrow, probably just spend it with the wife, and then mostly maybe I don't know if I want to take her somewhere or if she wants to eat at home. We could order something. We'll see. And then, just spend it with family. There's family in the US, because family in Italy, it's a little too far, isn't it? Plus, with the wife being pregnant, I don't think we want to fly for now. Let's see how you guys are doing. Let me read. Repost it. Yours is good so far. Going to your folks for Christmas, says Baron. Good to know. Good to know. Your third printer shipped today. I actually found a guy who's selling me a printer and a computer from 1990. We have to agree on delivery, though. You know, shipping CRTs is... I think I'm just going to go drive. Or pay someone to drive there. Probably pay someone. Yeah. Thank you, same to you, Hardo Jedi. No such thing as hate speech. No, hate speech exists, but there is no such thing as hate speech laws. Hate speech exists, but it's just ugly speech, and ugly speech is protected. That's how I say it. That's how I see it. Amstrad CPC. Wow, Amstrad. Man, I haven't heard that word in a while. Crazy. I appreciate that, Mr. Sid Civil, for the congratulations. Thank you so much. Not in the UK. Yeah, I know, my friend. The UK is going nuts, and I feel like Europe is following suit. The EU. Yeah. You know what's crazy is that the people that push for hate speech laws, they don't even do it right. Not that there is a way to do it right, but at least if there was consistency, I would still say, no, I want to live in a country that has First Amendment and protected speech. With that being said, if all hate speech was banned, at least I could see a consistency to it. But there isn't. It's just that you can't offend any. What's going to happen is that you will end up living in a country, particularly in the UK or maybe in the EU, depending on the country. You'll end up living in a country where if you offend someone who isn't white, you'll be jailed. But if you offend white people, it's totally fine. If you offend someone who is a so-called protected minority when it comes to sexual identification, then you're going to get in trouble, as you already do in the UK. But you can offend straight people all you want. And then we'll get to a point where you can offend men, but you cannot offend women. Then you're going to get to a point where you can offend women, but only if they're being transphobic. And then you're going to get to a point where you don't you dare say anything bad about Islam, but feel free to hate Christianity all you want. This is where it's going, and you know it. I mean, it's true. You can hate me all you want. If a hater is watching this, maybe when I do the VOD, you can hate me all you want. You can say, man, but you have to at least begrudgingly admit that that's exactly where things are going in those countries where so-called hate speech laws are being pushed. Because otherwise you should be in a country that is actually going to be full on hate speech is not allowed, it would have to end up being, if you wanted to be coherent, like in Demolition Man, if you remember, with Sylvester Stallone, or Stallone, if you want to read it the Italian-American way, where you can't even say a swear word, because who chooses? Who decides which words, because it's all hate, right? And so the problem is that what's going to happen is that. But then in a country like this, if really hate speech laws were going to be implemented that way, then you can't, if you're one of those who laughs at Christians and say, oh, you worship a sky daddy, hate speech law, 11 years in jail, are you going to be okay with that? What if they do it retroactively? What if then you're going to be like, oh, no, I don't want to live in that. I'm going to be in trouble. So the people that are pro-hate speech laws, they are not against hatred. They are pro-hatred, but only towards the kind of people that they want to hate on, while at the same time they want it to be unjust, because it's the only way that it wouldn't hit them as well. Because a lot of these people that say, oh, the intolerant bigots and all that, yeah, but they are very harsh. They are very hateful. But then they find loopholes. They tell you, well, it's not technically racism against white people because it's not systemic, or it's not, although I argue it is at this point. If you really want to use that clause is not going to work very well if it's going to become institutionalized, that kind of hatred, but it's not like they care. So that's what I have to say about that. So I'd rather live in a country where, yes, if you push for violence, if it's a direct threat, incitement to violence, that's not protected. But ugly speech is protected, because the moment you cross that line, it's going to be a problem for everyone if you do it right. And if you don't do it equally, then it's going to be unjust. And I don't like that. And you're going to get blocked because you're an idiot. Mandy's an idiot. I'm not going to block him so that we can all troll on this clown. That's how it is. No amount of anti-whiteism is acceptable. Preach it, brother. Preach it. Dealing with incel builds character. That too. A lot of snowflakes like this guy. Mandy's a snowflake. He's a little clown. A little clown. Anyways, let's move to the next. So guys, talking about awful individuals, there are two channels I want to tell you about. Channel number one is this one, Accent Master. This is my channel. It's an awesome channel. It has already 211 videos. But here's the thing. This channel is a direct response to this. You know what this is? Julian, whatever, Miquel is a massive YouTuber. 2 million subscribers, 59,000 videos. Yes, you read that number right. And if you want, you can subscribe to keep learning. Problem is, you're not going to learn anything. You're not going to learn anything. Now, I've spoken about him a few years ago, but I had no idea how deep this rabbit hole goes. And I am going to expose him now for what he's doing, because it's really making my blood boil. So, let me see. Thank you for the super chat, appreciate. Don't you think forces like Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and the Muslim Brotherhood are fueling and weaponizing internal Western issues to divide and conquer? EU, satanic, but Russia great to some. Yeah, I mean, I can see that there are absolutely forces that are pushing this anti-Western sentiment. I agree with that. Satanic or not, maybe we'll have to look into some of these, which one it is that we are talking about, but I wouldn't say no. When it comes to countries specifically and all this kind of stuff, I haven't got a clue. I mean, of course, there are some countries that would benefit from the West being internally collapsed. That's a fact. But it is one of those situations where we could speculate, but we're civilians. Yeah. 59,000 videos. How? Well, how about posting 60 times a day? 60 times a day. I'm not joking. Like, if you open his videos, this is gonna be a crazy one, guys. 4 days ago, you're gonna see 4 days ago. Look, 4 days ago. You know what this means? It means that all of these were posted on the same day. 4 days. And finally we get to 5 days ago. For some reasons it took a day off. And then 6 days ago you will see it 60 times. So this guy has an average of 60 videos, maybe 30 videos sometimes when he feels a little lazy. This guy posts like a maniac. Now, generally speaking, I would appreciate that if he wasn't misinforming. But the guy is absolutely misinforming. Because believe it or not, Julian Miquel is probably the largest and one of the most viewed and economically successful pronunciation channels on the entirety of the platform, and you will find him on Google. You ask, how do you pronounce, put a word, this guy, no matter the language, is going to be the first top pick on Google. How does he do it? Is he a language genius? No, he makes it all up. He makes it up. He has the only thing, if I'm going to be, I can't stand the guy, but I'm going to try and be analytical here for a second. If we were to do a proper assessment, his mother tongue is French, so of course his tutorials on how to pronounce French words, good. You want to watch those? Feel free. His English is decent for a Frenchman. Take that as you will. His Japanese, his Mandarin, his Swedish, his German, his Italian, laughable. Zero training. This guy hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. His Latin. You want to see his Latin? I'll show you. Want to see his Latin? Julian Miguel Veni Vidi Vici. I just said it the ecclesiastical way because I don't want to spoil the correct way. He says how to pronounce this correctly. And the fact that he started putting correctly, by the way, is hilarious because before it was all incorrect. So he had to redo the same videos. But even when he puts correctly, because he hasn't got a clue what he's doing, they're also incorrect. Check this out.
We are looking at how to pronounce the famous quote and Latin phrase attributed to Emperor Julius Caesar himself, meaning I came, I saw, I conquered. The way he would have said it would have been Veni, Vidi, Vici. Veni, I came, Vidi, I saw, Vici, I conquered.
3 mistakes in a 34 seconds clip doesn't exactly inspire confidence to me now, does it? First, Julius Caesar, or Julius Caesar, was not an emperor.
Is attributed to Emperor Julius Caesar himself.
Not an emperor. He was a dictator, and he spoke that to the Republic. There was no empire, because the first emperor is his adoptive son, Octavianus Augustus, or Octavianus Augustus. That's the first thing. Then, for anyone I was going to say, but maybe he meant that this is how it's pronounced in ecclesiastical pronunciation or Italianate pronunciation or more of a modern. No, because he said...
Meaning, I came, I saw, I conquered. The way he would have said it...
The way he would have said it implies this is supposed to be classical Latin in the reconstructed pronunciation, which of course I know you all know it. Weni, weedy, wiki, with all the vowels long, by the way, for those who are interested in phonemic vowel length. But regardless, in the comments, of course, they roast him. But the problem is that if you look at a lot of his content, you know what the comments say? Whenever he does stuff like this, whether it be Mandarin is like, I'm going to show you, you're going to explode. But now we're going to do a little test. I'm going to ask you guys where you're from. And we're going to check, oh, you're from Germany? Let's see how his German is. You're from Sweden? Let's check his Swedish. We're going to check his Italian, and I'm going to explode and lose my shit. But in general, he doesn't know what he's talking about. What you are learning, okay, so that we are clear here. What you're learning is Hebrew, nothing. Whenever you click, you're not learning how to pronounce whatever the heck word you're looking for in said language correctly. You are learning how he mispronounces it as a complete, total, untrained person. Not even a beginner. He doesn't study this stuff. It's clear. That's what you're learning. And people in the comments are like, thanks so much. I had no idea that's how it's pronounced. I didn't know. And neither does he know. He doesn't know. Like, look, lovely that he calls it slop. Yeah, that is exactly good. Yeah. You want to see me? You want to see it? Okay. How do you pronounce this in correctly in Italian? He has 2 videos. Let's see the first one.
We are looking at how to pronounce this Italian food name.
Italian, yes.
Bruschetta. No, in the US it is said as bruschetta. In English, in the UK, bruschetta. In Italian, however, it is to be said as bruschetta.
So, he got everything wrong. When it comes to the Italian, all he does, and he's being paid, we're going to get to the money now, he's being paid to just put on the mockery. A mozzarella, a bruschetta, a prosciutto. That's what he does. Right? So anyone can do this. Not only that, but he also was wrong because Americans say bruschetta and English say bruschetta. So he even got that wrong. How? How do you get that wrong? So anyways, he made a second one. Let's see, maybe he improved.
What is up, guys? Buongiorno, this is Julian.
Buongiorno.
A Frenchman who makes pronunciation videos here on YouTube, and we are looking at how to pronounce the name of this Italian dish. This is more of an antipasto to be served before a meal. This is a dish that consists of toasting, bread, and drink.
Shut it. Just tell me how it's pronounced. Where is it?
But rather bruschetta.
A bruschetta.
Because there is a double T here, insist on the E and the double T. Bruschetta.
A bruschetta. No Italian says it like that, you absolute clown. So, I'll give you 2 options so you can compare and contrast. Compare and contrast before I lose it. Standard Italian, bruschetta. So, closed E, bruschetta. Bruschetta. People in the south, bruschetta with an open E. That's it. He literally does boopity boppy boopy. He will do boopity boppy boopy boppy. And that's Italian. And he's going to say crostini. That's what he does. I want to see this one. Come on. Go. Shut it.
In Italian, it is not...
Even in Italian, he's putting on the accent even...
normally said as panettone.
See, panettone. No, it's panettone. Panettone, not panettone. So he has the fake accent, but you want to see Mandarin? Mandarin Chinese. Where is it? Well, let me find, I think there is, we'll check this one in a second, but let me see. There you go. Correctly. We are looking to the pronouns.
We are looking at how to pronounce this Chinese name, as well as how to say more interesting Chinese names and words as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. How do you say it? Huang. Huang. Pretty straightforward. Once you know.
Pretty straightforward. Once you know implies you need to know it. So this is, it's a surname. It's also the word for yellow, and it's pronounced Huang, second tone, Huang. Oh, Metatron, but you're so condescending. I don't care. I'm arrogant. Yes, I take it. I embrace it. I'm the most arrogant person on the planet. At least I know what I'm talking about.
Chinese name, as well as how to say more interesting Chinese names and words as well. So make sure to stay tuned and consider subscribing for more learning. How do you say it?
How?
Huang. Huang.
I know that if you're Chinese now, you flipped the table so hard the CCP authorities have already arrested you and you are being sent to prison for disrupting public peace. I know. I'm sorry. Dobuchi. I hope you enjoy Japanese. That's gracious. Why am I even doing this? I'll show you why this pisses me off, by the way. Let's go.
We are looking at how to pronounce this name, the name of the capital city of Japan. We'll be looking at how to say more useful Japanese vocabulary, so make sure to stay tuned to the channel. So in English, it is said as Tokyo, Tokyo. Now, if you want to hear how it is said in Japanese, it is normally pronounced there in Japan as Tokyo.
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 It's a mockery. It's a mockery. Like, good luck with the... So this guy has zero understanding. Zero. Phonetics, nothing. Pitch, forget it. Doesn't even know exists. The Japanese say Tokyo. It's one of those that it's a... I'm losing my mind. Tokyo. So he's basically putting on a racist accent for every person, every culture, stereotypical, whatever, and he's being rewarded monetarily for this. And I can find a million of these. A million. It's nonsense. All of it. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. Now, the reason why I'm so pissed is because we're going to go to Social Blade now. And we're going to put his name. So you see how much money he's making by doing this. So he will go there, butcher your language, whichever it is. Zero training, no idea what he's doing. And then, people will thank him. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad. And then they'll go to freaking Japan and China. They'll try and do, And the Chinese are like, what? It's like, I don't know. This guy told me he's amazing. 2 million subscribers. I forgot his name. There he is. How much money does he make? So this guy makes monthly estimated earnings. Ditch the bottom. I'll tell you why in a second. This guy probably in AdSense alone gets somewhere near $100,000 a month, which means that he makes around $1 million a year for this. Now, you might say, oh, but are you sure? Because maybe this is wrong. I mean, some people are like, but Social Blade gets things wrong, or maybe it's the low one, maybe it's 60,000. No, it's not, because I can see the number of views, and I'm a content creator. Okay, so I know exactly what this translates to. It's accurate. The high end. It could be more. It could be more, guys. The reality is, it's probably more. Also because this is AdSense alone. You shouldn't get a cent. You're absolutely right. You shouldn't get a cent. So, as you can see, he posts 623 videos a month. Obviously, he doesn't need to research anything. He just improvises nonsense. We will do Social Blade. He'll read it in the way it's pronounced in America is Social Blood. Social blood. Now you know. Pretty straightforward. That's what he does. And it's driving me insane. This is the Antichrist of education. Okay? And again, when it comes to Social Blade, I know people will come and tell me, Social Blade gets in front. Look, my channels are on here. And not only it's accurate for every single one of my channels, I got 7 channels on YouTube. It's accurate for every single one of my channels that are monetized, but in fact, the top end is lower than what I'm actually making on AdSense. Now, I'll keep how much I'm making private because these days privacy, it's a mirage and it's already so rare that I prefer not to say exactly how much money I make when it comes to AdSense, but I'll tell you this much. Yeah, when you see this, in my experience, it's always higher than the highest that they are telling you. It might not work like that for every YouTuber, but if you look at these, the variable that might change how much this makes is the CPM, so how much the advertisers pay, called cost per mil, the RPM, which is revenue per mil, is the amount of money that the creator actually takes from those ads once YouTube has taken their cuts, and the RPM of how much 1,000 views are worth is dependent on the category. So if you do high finance, or you do high fashion, or you do coding and software, you're going to get a lot of money because the CPM is really high per 1,000 views. If you do education, and it's kind of like it depends, maybe $8, $6, it's not great. It's not bad though. If you do gaming, it's awful. You get like $3. And then it depends. Like science and tech is one of the highest as well. So do consider that if you want to do content creation as your primary job, the category you choose to speak of and whether or not it's advertiser friendly. But the guy doesn't swear, and if his channel, you know what, why don't we check it? It's either his channel is education. I'm going to show you right now. He either does education, which means that's going to be probably even higher. It's probably $120,000 a month if it's education on average. Or if he, what could he do? How to? Because how to is another one that is pretty high, I think, depending. I can check it right now with you, and you'll be like, how? I'll show you. I'll show you all my tricks, guys. I will show you all my tricks right now. All right. This video here about Tokyo, what we're going to do is we're going to click here in the nonsense, in the nothing. I mean, it is nonsense. Nonsense is here. Right-click here and select, I can't even see it, view page source. Now we have access to the source code of this video of his. Then what you do, because you'll be like, but this is a mess. Fine. Control F, category, scroll down. There he is, category. So the category of this video is how to style. I thought so. It was going to be either education or how to style. This guy is making a phenomenal amount of money. Another thing you can do, since I'm teaching you a little thing that we use as content creators, so you might not know. So you can check even my stuff if you want that. It's not like I hide it. Let's do this one. Let's check keywords. Okay, now we know the tags he did. Tags. You don't need any, don't worry about plugins and stuff that YouTube might detect. Just do this. Accent, American, audio, Australia, beginners. Yeah, beginners, absolutely beginner. You're not even a beginner. British context, course, definition, dictionary, English, examples, explained how do you pronounce, how do you say, how to say, improve in. India, Japan, Japanese, language, learn, meaning, native speaker, pronounce, pronunciation guide, sentences, sound, speak, speech, study, synonyms. Okay. To Tokyo, UK, tutorial. Okay, that's what, look at that. Goodness gracious, that's a lot. It's probably like 480 characters if I had to guess it. In fact, we can check. We can check how many characters. There is a way to do it. I'll do it in a second. Anyways, now you know, guys. Method on the transparent, always. So obviously, I've just taught you how to do it. You can go and check my tags. Some are hilarious. Some stuff I put in there, I go like woke mind virus, woke agenda, left wing, right wing, conservative, progressive, liberal. I put it all. Communist, fascist. I put the whole thing. But when I'm reacting to Asmongold, I put Asmongold TV, I put Asmongold everywhere because Asmongold gets a lot of views. So anyways, that's that. So now you know. So now that we have seen this guy is making monstrous amounts of money doing this. So I created his nemesis. This, I'll show you now. I created, where the heck did I put it? Accent Master. My channel, already 200 videos just for Italian. Just to redeem my own language and honor, I created this channel. I'm going to give you the link if you want to support this project of anti-diseducation in order to, hopefully one day, get to a point when someone is Googling, they see me. Because at least with me, you know it's going to be real. And I'll give you an example anyways. I'll give you the link if you want to support this wonderful project of mine. 1 second. Please. So here it is. For those of you who are like, you know what, that's kind of cool. I want to help a Metatron out. I want to help a friend. How does it work? On this channel, we have professionals, experts and native speakers teach you the most correct pronunciation in multiple languages. Everything is professionally recorded. Any mention to that guy is completely double-checked, so you can trust us 100%. No AI used in the process. All real professionals with love, passion, expertise, and also annoying degrees. So that's that. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay? In fact, if you watch this, Miquel, while you're sipping your wine, apparently he's an expert wine sommelier, something, whatever the heck, and he should have stuck to the wine. But if you watch this, here is how it's done. How do you pronounce samurai? What he would do, I don't know, samurai, and now you know. Just completely making it up. Let's go. Welcome to Accent Mastery. Today we're going to... Welcome to Accent Mastery. Today we're going to learn how to pronounce samurai, 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 samurai. So it's not pronounced samurai. It's not pronounced samurai. It's not pronounced samurai. Samurai. Having established that, and for advanced learners, let's jump into pitch accent. This is a 0 pattern, so heiban pattern, which is the so-called flat pitch in Japanese, or accentless words. So we start low, sa. You can see this is low, sa. And then we go high, mu, ra, i. So these stay high. So you go from low, given. Probably this took a little more effort than whatever the heck he does. But wouldn't it be better, Mr. Miquel, to not post 60 times a day, maybe cut it to 30? But then again, $1 million, guys. $1 million. I mean, how can I fault the man? He's rich. So I guess from a business perspective, problem is, don't you care about people not learning anything? Let's continue. I'm reacting to myself. Is this normal or do I need professional help? Imagine it like these were notes in a piano. You start low, sa, you go high, mu, sa, mu, and then keep high, rai. Now, interestingly, if you look at the actual representation here, it does appear as if it's going ever so slightly lowering, but not a dramatic drop like you would in other words. That's fine if you want to try and mimic that, or you can keep it perfectly flat. It's okay. But it needs to remain high. And if you were to add a particle here, it would also be attached high. So, samurai wa, samurai wa, samurai ga. Okay? So, samurai, samurai, samurai. Also note that it's a mu rather than mu. I think and then I say thank you very much. If you have questions, feel free to ask. Yeah, that's considered a flat accent, or even, yeah, that is considered in Japanese a accentless word, or a flat accent, when they start low and they go high and stay high. There are 4 different pitch patterns. But anyways, that's, of course, for the advanced speakers. But what I'm trying to demonstrate here, first, I'm trying to repair all the objective damage this guy has done within the educational space. And the people that actually wanted to know. They were curious. How do you say it? And then they go there and he's going like, bruschetta, bruschetta. So that one. Or the freaking thing in Chinese. I will do on this channel, guys. At this point, whether it monetizes or not, I don't even care. Given, am I going to lie to you and tell you, you know what, if I start making $1 million a year here, I'm not going to touch the money. No, I am going to touch it. I'm going to touch it all right. I'm going to cover this house in armor, medieval stuff. Great. Okay. Fine. Video games everywhere. Buy whatever the heck the wife wants. Absolutely. But even if it doesn't happen, and this channel doesn't even get monetized, whatever views I get, I will consider it a victory against the anti-educational slop that this guy has been pushing out for years and has enriched over. Because to me, it's unacceptable. I don't know what to tell you. So please support my accent master. I will have Mandarin Chinese, all divided in playlists. Italian already has 200 words because it was driving me nuts. And then we will do English. We'll do every language I know. And for the language I don't know, if you're like, oh, it'd be nice to have a section on German, I'll get a German. I've got plenty of friends who are really good and they can help me out so that I don't have to go there and freaking record warum, and whatever it is. So, and maybe have an accent that it's not great. So with the languages that I have training in, I'll do it myself. For the language that I don't have training in, I'll collaborate. I really like this, but in general, I'm doing it because I need to become his nemesis so that people can learn it because it pisses me off. I don't know what to tell you. So that's the project. What do you guys think? Yeah, here we are. I'm probably screaming, like clipping this microphone like a maniac, but hey. You subscribed? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm going to post something tonight, and then I'll post again tomorrow, I think. I'm going to start with Mandarin in a while, because, I mean, Mandarin is such a beautiful language. I know some people don't like it. I do. I love the tones. So the idea of someone who doesn't even know what a tone is. Anyways. Yeah. For what I heard, if you speak most languages passingly, they'll appreciate the effort. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But then again, imagine this. If your professor is teaching your language, wouldn't you want him to not speaking it passingly, but actually be a professional? Right? That's how it is. The nemesis system is called, oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, for learners, absolutely. I mean, if you ever do run, and it's not going to happen, but if you do run onto someone who makes fun of you because you made a pronunciation mistake or you have an accent. Heck, I have an accent when I speak English, but as long as your accent is not so strong as to impede communication, then it's fine. And it might even be a little bit of a charming aspect of the way you express yourself in whatever target language that you're trying to acquire. That's perfectly fine. But then again, if you're teaching it, I would expect you to at least know the basics. So there's that. Earns millions per year. He will not say anything, but there will be signs. Exactly. You're right. Oh, for me, like the armor everywhere. Yeah, you know what? It's kind of funny because every time so far that I've shown my office, so the man cave, how I like to refer to it. Well, my wife named it that, but whatever. I have a lot of like old school computers because my armory that I have with some armor and stuff, it's another room, and I'll be selling some of that armor that I'm not using, by the way, so keep an eye on the community post. But with that being said, the armor is over there, but here I've got my computers and tech, and every time that I show this room, which has a lot of computers, like old terminals and 80s computers, and a lot of video games, like I collect a lot of physical media. I love collecting games. I got Warhammer miniatures that I paint, that kind of stuff. Most people enjoy it, but there are people that are like, oh, you're showing off your millions. Millions? What are you on about? Well, yeah, when it's Warhammer and Games Workshop, I can see it. So I'll take that one back. But when it comes to like the stuff that I collect, you know how I did it? Well, first and foremost, it took me 2 decades to collect the stuff that it's here. It's not like one day I woke up like Hasan Piker and bought the freaking Gucci. No, it took me 2 decades to accumulate the stuff that I love. Second, I take care of the stuff I love. So yeah, I've got stuff that I have had since I was 13 and it's still working because I took care of it. But most importantly, you want to know how I afforded the hundreds of video games in physical that I have, or the computers and the sword, the armor. You know what? You know how? I'll tell you right now. And I hope that this is going to help you change your life if you're not doing it. I never smoked. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. It's an expensive thing to do, apart from the health issues. But imagine that. Take 20 years of a heavy smoker, put together all the money you spent, and literally turn into smoke. You could have twice the stuff that I have accumulated here. It's just that I chose not to smoke. So whenever you bought 2 packets of cigarettes and I bought a freaking miniature of Samus from Metroid, your money turned into smoke, mine stays, and it's on my desk, and it's been here for years. It's really that simple. Given. Of course, there are people that are struggling, but then again, if they still choose to smoke, it's a choice. It really is a choice. Put it together. You'll be like, yeah, but a packet of cigarettes is not that expensive. Over 20 years, do the maths. Do the maths, my friends. It's a lot of money. Yeah, there we go. See, that's missed Sid Civil is being intellectually honest. Expensive habit, I know. And I mean, if that's what you want to do, it's your choice. I'd rather have a room that looks like a gaming arcade. That's what I like, you know, or maybe the miniatures, the high elves that I enjoy painting and keep my lungs in the process. So there's that. So there's that. 2 decades going into the past, those things are rare. Yeah, some of these things I imagine have some value. Like I have a pet computer from 1977. 77, guys. It's insane. And I love that stuff. I don't know what to tell you. Unpopular opinion, says the Visa. But I propose an actual European Dark Ages, but instead of being the entire Middle Ages, it should be between 500 to 800. Look up the Barbarian Kingdoms for more information. I mean, that would be... I do believe that even though the term Dark Ages as a nomenclature in academia has been abandoned due to the fact that it doesn't represent the medieval period correctly, it is an epic name, isn't it? I love it. So if you found the sneaky way to be like, yeah, but I only actually mean this period and it applies, I'll be cool for it. I mean, you can call 10 years if you want. These are the Dark Ages. I love Dark Ages as a term. It's really cool. It sounds great. That's why, like, I'm always in favor of it. If you're using it for a D&D setting, like, who cares? It's great. Yeah. Now, I never heard of Firelock 198. No, never heard of that. My cousin has like 4 or 5 armies in 40k. Hey, your cousin is making the money. Slots, thank you so much for the $2. I think these are called on Rumble. They're called rants. Am I right? I'm still learning it. And Metatron has spoken out against anti-whiteism, so it's one of them. Yeah, I know, and I always will. In fact, I'm producing a couple of videos about it that are going to get me in a lot of trouble when it comes to Reddit, my friends. Ooh, I'm making them because, you know, I still do the scripted videos. It's just that it takes me forever to script them. But once they're ready and I'm going to drop them, oh, you'll know. You will know, my friends. Absolutely. Absolutely. Metatron the Transparent actually sounds kind of funny. Yeah. You grew up with the minis? Tell me about it. I know. High elf player from back in the day. Always will be. I love the high elves. Cool stuff. All right. Let's go. Next. So now that I told you about this, that was driving me nuts, I've got more stuff for you today. So since we saw someone that, we don't really like, I'd like to watch someone that I do usually like. And I put usually because a few times I've disagreed. It's language takes. And his name is Rob Words. But differently from the guys that sometimes we review on this channel that are complete frauds, Rob Words is really good. It's a channel that if you not only are interested in language learning, but mostly etymology and the history of words, I strongly suggest to check him out. And he's a really good channel. Now, I had a cursory glance at this video of his, which is from 2 years ago, given. So, I mean, if you check out some of the stuff I posted 2 years ago and did a reaction, some of it was cringe. So, again, maybe he has changed his mind. But anyways, he titled it A Traveler's Guide to Japanese. We appreciate a double L for the British spelling, for those of you who don't know. And I watched a little bit of this, and I think there is some misinformation. With that being said, it doesn't take away from the guy. I think Rob is great. But let me see if I can correct something, because since he is an educator, I think he would appreciate it just like I would appreciate it. If I say something wrong about English, for instance, he's English, and he corrects me, I'm not going to have a problem with that. I'm going to be like, thank you very much for the correction. So let's go.
Japanese is more English than you think.
Okay.
Yes, it has the look of an unsolvable riddle, but hidden within these symbols are words
that you'd recognize. In this video, let's untangle some of the mysteries of Japanese and ask, is Japanese as complicated as it looks?
The answer is yes to that, by the way.
Could I learn enough to not make a fool of myself on a visit there? What words would I need to get by? And can I trust the vocab in my guidebook?
No.
In the few short weeks I've spent here in Japan, I've decided that I love the language, and
likewise. So far, very good introduction.
I think that you could too. So let's Nihongo with another Rob words. Greetings.
I thought that was a pretty clever one, like Nihongo, but Nihongo. Nice.
It's from Okinawa, the final stop on a trip I've been doing around Japan. Actually,
awesome.
I've been on holiday. Elodie, can I say it's honeymoon?
Honeymoon.
I've been on honeymoon.
Wow.
Anyway, because I just can't help myself, I've been taking every possible opportunity to ask the locals about their language. So let's call this a tourist's guide to Japanese.
Sounds
One,
good.
because I think it's going to be helpful to people traveling to Japan. And two, because I'm a tourist. Before I traveled here, I knew embarrassingly little about the lingo, and I looked for a good video that could tell me about the language, a few handy phrases and this and that, and I didn't find one that cut it. So
I should make one.
this is me making that video.
Let's go.
Whereas the Japanese get to learn English from a talking cat, you get me. Don't get me wrong, I still can't speak Japanese.
Of course.
After 3 weeks, are you kidding? But this is everything I wish I knew about Japanese before I got here.
So, as you see, I think he's very well-meaning, and I appreciate the... he seems like a legitimately nice guy, but do keep in mind what he just stated. He doesn't know Japanese. He has no idea, no training. So we do have to take what he says about the Japanese language with a pinch of salt. Not trying to be pedantic. Well, yes, I am pedantic, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. It is what it is. Let's go.
I'm giving you a 3-week head start.
Okay.
Let's get cracking.
Let's go.
So let's start with the fact that Japanese is unique.
Correct.
It is unlike any other major language. Like the islands of Japan themselves, it's a thing apart. It's thought it may be related to Korean way back, but that actually hasn't even been proven. You also might think, to look at it, that it's kind of like Chinese, but it absolutely isn't.
Okay, so the etymological part is where he shines. So you notice he's talking about language families and the evolution and development of languages and whether or not some languages are related to each other. That's, I think, where he excels at. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't actually know if he speaks any other language, to be honest. Now, he's going to compare Japanese and Chinese. Isn't there any connection between Japanese and Chinese? There is, but I'm going to let him speak. I don't want to, of course, put words in his mouth or create a straw man. There is a connection, but now he's going to, let's see, what has he got? Ryokucha o nomisugita, so I've drank too much green tea, yes, and then he went for the Chinese version, 我喝了太多绿茶.
Here's what Japanese sounds like.
緑茶を飲みすぎた.
And here's what Mandarin sounds like.
我喝了太多绿茶.
So if you notice, the only two words that actually sounded similar was the word for tea, which in Japanese is cha. In isolation, often they put the honorific in front of it, ocha. But in this case, it's not here because it's green tea. And so already you've got this as a adjectival modification of the noun. So you don't need to put the o here. It becomes ryokucha. But then again, cha is the word. And it does come from Chinese because the Chinese, which is over here, you can see it's the same character. The Chinese in Mandarin pronounce it cha, second tone. So the only difference is that this one is tonal, this one is pitch-based.
Knowing Chinese isn't going to help you speak Japanese a whole lot more than knowing English. Sure, Japanese has borrowed a lot of words from Chinese. Around half of Japanese words have Chinese origins, but the grammar, pronunciation, tones of Mandarin, totally irrelevant to Japanese. Knowing Chinese will, however, help you to read it, which brings me to another reason that Japanese is unique and kind of scary.
So he's correct. The major overlap between Chinese and Japanese, and when we say Chinese again, we mean Mandarin, is the writing system. It's not identical, but there is a lot of overlap. Of course, the Chinese characters have been simplified by the Communist Party, and so some are not recognizable, but others are. They're similar, just a little simpler, and others are completely different. Like if you look at the character for dragon in Japanese, which is connected to how Chinese used to write it, and they still do, but only when it's an artistic form. The simplified version is irrecognizable if you don't know it. And there are a few that are like that, but you can still kind of figure it out, sort of. Sometimes you won't. There are false friends. There is a little bit. It's not zero now. What he said now, this one, I'm being nitpicky, but just so you know, there are some words you can recognize with the pronunciation alone. It's just that it's not that many, because a lot of pronunciation of Sino-Japanese characters, so Japanese that are read in the onyomi, characters that are read based on the Japanese version of an original Chinese pronunciation, are actually connected to classical Chinese or Chinese that isn't modern Mandarin or Putonghua specifically. So the standard Mandarin that is derived from Beijing, so Peking or Beijing, the capital. So he's right, but it's not like this is the same as English. There is a little bit of similarity, just like we just showed it when it comes to the word for tea. You can recognize it if you come from Mandarin, for instance.
It has 3 alphabets.
Okay.
3! One of them is the Chinese alphabet, where each symbol essentially represents a word or a concept. But the other 2 are much more like what we would consider an alphabet to be, with each symbol representing just a sound. You build a word by piecing together these sounds. Each of the 3 alphabets has its own specific uses, which I won't get too much into, but you'll find characters from all 3 alphabets jumbled together on signs.
Yes.
It's confusing.
Yes.
But don't worry. If you're going to Japan, you do not need to learn these 3 alphabets, because they've all been helpfully transliterated into the Roman alphabet. That's our alphabet for us. So you can at least have a go at saying the words out loud. And that brings me to my next point.
So before we jump into the next point, just one thing that I'd like to underline. Here we go. So katakana and hiragana are indeed alphabets. They are phonetic alphabets specifically. Kanji, or the characters, the one that is based on the Chinese Hanzi, this is not an alphabet. And it's because he said it so many times in a row. As someone who has majored in Japanese, I do want to underline this. So kanji and these characters here, it's not a form of alphabet. It's incorrect to refer to this as an alphabet, and it's more correctly considered a logographic writing system. Just to be clear. Let's go.
That brings me to my next point.
You know more Japanese than you think. So how can that be?
Well, for one thing, a full 10% of Japanese words are borrowed from English. I mean, you won't necessarily recognize them first off, because
very good.
The Japanese pronunciations can be a little funky. See, toilet.
Toire.
A really useful one. Also, glass.
Garasu.
And another example, elevator.
Elevator.
Oh, and also, an aside, there's a precursor to J-pop from the 70s and 80s that we call in English city pop. And in Japanese, they call it that too, but it's not how they say it.
Yeah, because the Japanese don't have the sound si, so it will turn into shi. So shitty pop. It's kind of funny, actually, that he found that one out.
Anyway, going back to toilet, glass, and elevator, you'll notice that they're having a bit of a shocker with English's L sound. And that's because Japanese has a sound that English doesn't have. That is halfway between an L and R. It's actually a good one to practice. It involves tapping your gums just behind your top front teeth. Practice saying butter with an American accent. As perfect as that, I'm sure. If you don't already have an American accent, that is. And it's that sound in the middle, butter. But that LR...
That's called flapping, technically. So it's not only, by the way, it's very famously connected to American English, is correct, because, even I don't have it. I say butter. Butter, I guess. I might have butchered it. Or beauty, beautiful, British instead of British. But Australians have it too, by the way. The Australians do flap quite a bit They do it. It's just that because it's an Australian accent, it will sound butter. I don't know if you ever noticed that. So the Australians do flap. In England, usually you don't. If you really don't feel like pronouncing the T, what you end up doing is using a glottal stop and you just eat it out. You eat it up. You say British, so, like water, if you're like one of those. But yeah, so there is that. Anyways, let's go.
Sound in Japanese is actually a rare species, i.e. a sound that English doesn't have, because unbelievably and luckily, English speakers can automatically articulate 80%. That's almost all sounds in Japanese.
I do want to comment on this. What does this mean? I have actually once, believe it or not, I was talking to Matt Easton to bring him up after so many years. And I remember that he was talking about Japanese weapons. And we were talking a little bit. And then at one point, there was one weapon, he pronounced it right. And so I told him that. I told him, hey, you pronounce this word, because I know how they're pronounced, right? Because I do speak Japanese. And he gave me a very strange answer. He said, oh, yeah, because for us, for English people, it's actually very easy to pronounce Japanese. And I feel like that it's similar to this. And that's not true. So believe it or not, if your native tongue is a Romance language, it will be easier for you to pronounce Japanese than it is for an Anglophone. Does this mean that Anglophone speakers can never get Japanese right? No, in fact, it's going to be easier for you to pronounce the Mandarin, particularly if you're not trained for tones. But this idea that 80% of words, like, it's a little misleading. I'm not saying that he's lying. I'm not saying that this is, he made a huge mistake. He didn't make a huge mistake. I just wanted to be clarified a little bit. When you, as an Anglophone speaker, whether you be American or English, if you pronounce Japanese without being trained, because this implies without being trained, if you try and pronounce Japanese, you will sound exactly like the Japanese when they pronounce English. So when you hear something like McDonald's, or you hear something like garasu, erebeta, those kind of sounds that he just underlined, that's how you sound to them if you have zero training and say arigato. Just so we're clear. It takes effort, it takes study to go from I have such a thick accent they might misunderstand me, to I have an accent and they know exactly where I'm from, but they do understand me, to I actually sound really good. You can tell I'm foreign, but I sound really good, to I mastered the pitch accent and they think I was brought up here. These are levels. And you don't have to get to the highest, by the way. A lot of people stop a little earlier. I myself am still working through the pitch accent, and I've been studying Japanese for a decade. With that being said, though, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to sound good in Japanese. Just wanted to clarify that one for learners. Let's go.
What a gift! The crow agrees.
What's more, those words transcribed into the Roman alphabet, or Romaji as it's known, have been transcribed with English in mind.
Case in point, Romaji is extended rather than Romaji. Not a big deal, although lengthening of words, so phonemic, particularly if it's phonemic, so it changes the meaning, and oftentimes it does in Japanese. But even if it wasn't, and we're just talking about vowel lengthening, is a crucial aspect of Japanese as a language. And I have had situations in Japan where I didn't lengthen a vowel the way I was supposed to, and they did misunderstand me. Now, many times it doesn't happen. I mean, if particularly with the pitch accent, if you use the wrong pitch accent, it's not like people are gonna think, oh, did you mean that you gave a nose to that girl yesterday night during the date, or you brought her flowers? Obviously, people are going to understand it from the context, but there are situations when the lengthening that you see here, it's literally, this is what this bar means. It means take this syllable, ro, and lengthen it to at least double its length. Ro, and then ma, which means the city of Rome. Roma, Roma. That's exactly what it is. And G means character.
Designed to be read out loud by English speakers.
By everyone.
It's another gift. So Japanese really is trying its absolute hardest to be as easy for English speakers to have a go at as possible. Right, you'll must have Japanese vocab still to come, including some home truths about Japanese that you think you already know. But first, let me throw another quick travel tip your way. As I've been making my way from city to city on bullet trains, in capsule hotels, and on a cycle ride that left me with probably one of Asia's sorest arses. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
He's fun, though.
Melody, stop laughing. Right, serious. Let's get this. So as I've been making my way from city to city, I've been using a VPN to protect myself.
Which one is it? If it's Atlas, I'm skipping it.
While hopping between public
It's got to be Nord.
Wi-Fi networks. I would highly recommend doing the same. I've been using NordVPN, who have also supported this video, as well as keeping your data secure as you travel around by disguising your device. A VPN also allows you to surf the internet as if you're in another country, so you can access streaming services from back home, for example, to help you kill time on a long mountain train ride or in between snacks. Oh, so many snacks. I've also talked in the past about how useful a VPN like NordVPN can be for learning a foreign language, because you can watch streaming services in your target language. I found this so useful when I started learning German before I moved there. Oh, and did I also mention that a VPN can save you money as well when you're booking your trip, that is. Some travel...
So maybe he does speak German. I'd be interested to see how fluent he is.
Websites. Cheeky travel websites will hike the prices they show you based on where you're booking from or if you've been on that site before, but you can scupper this evil scheme of theirs using NordVPN to change your location. What's also cool is that you can use it on up to 6 devices, so you can basically be protected everywhere. Protect your whole family. So go to nordvpn.com/robwords to get an exclusive deal with 4 months for free on a 2-year plan. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, so basically, what's stopping you?
I know that I could have clicked the jump ahead, but I didn't want to skip his sponsorship.
Okay, let's get into how you can avoid making a fool of yourself in Japanese with some easy to remember vocab.
So this is the bit where I impart to you which words and phrases I found the most useful to know during my short time here. The aim here is to keep this as simple as possible.
That's a good
no
strategy.
Long sentences where a single word can achieve the same thing, and no questions when you're simply not going to be able to understand the answer.
That's a very good point, actually, that he just made, so I'm going to praise him for that. Sometimes when you're going into tourist language, what's the point with questions? You're not going to understand the answer unless you study the answers very, very well. But oftentimes natives will surprise you. You expect them to tell you one thing, they use another word, you don't understand it. So I mean, you can, but if you are like someone like in this case, he knew absolutely nothing, it does make sense that he's avoiding the questions. Does make sense.
This is all about being efficient, accurate, and most crucially of all in Japan, polite. Because the Japanese are the world champions of politeness. They make us English seem like louts.
And I'll thank you for letting me begin with the word you're perhaps most likely to already know. Arigato, meaning thank you.
Arigato.
A very, very handy one, this one. But did you notice anything about how I said arigato? It's got that R/L in the middle of it. So that's definitely one to try and nail. Once you've done that, it's time to just kick the politeness up a notch with the formal version. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Did you notice that in the pitch of the recorded voice, which was clearly recorded by someone from Tokyo, and I'll tell you how you can tell them apart from someone from the west of Japan, say Osaka or Kobe, whatnot, that area, Kyoto. She is going up here. Arigato. Okay, so they go up here and then go down again. This is typical Tokyo. If it was someone from Osaka, they actually go into arigato, and it's like they don't do this up and down, and they keep it high and stress the end. It's one way to recognize the accent. So Tokyo standard arigato, and then yes, gozaimasu.
That's the one you're most likely to use in encounters with strangers.
That's correct, yeah.
Now, did you notice anything about how I said that the first time, arigato gozaimasu, other than my apparent Spanish accent? I didn't pronounce that U that you can see at the end. And that's because you don't. The MASU at the end there is a formal suffix that you're going to hear an awful lot in.
Yeah, that suffix is called teine. It's polite speech as one of the different levels or registers of the language. Generally speaking, Japanese has 4 registers. One thing though, and I'm sorry that I have to do this, but what he told you now is incorrect. So I do want to underline this one very quickly. Do a lot of Japanese skip the pronunciation of the U at the end and read it gozaimasu? So arigatou gozaimasu with a s. Yes. But is it true that you don't pronounce it as if it's wrong to pronounce it? No. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine from Tokyo, And I remember I had just moved to Japan. I lived there for 4 years, but I had just arrived. And I actually asked him, I said, so you guys say arigatou gozaimasu or arimasu, desu, whatever you want. Would it be wrong if I said gozaimasu? And he said, no, that sounds absolutely fine. So there are some Japanese speakers, and I have had this experience living there, that do pronounce the U at the end. And in fact, as someone who has lived in Japan and kind of understands the nuances a little bit, most speakers will drop the U. But sometimes I notice that when you do pronounce the U, which in my experience, it happens, it kind of conveys a little bit of humility on the part of the speaker. And please let me know if you agree with this. So someone who says, arigatou gozaimasu, they will. It's like it's giving a little bit of a different emotional feel to the word just by choosing to pronounce the U. And you will hear people say, for instance, I don't know, whatever the heck we want to say, keitai desu, okay? But some people will say, nihonjin desu. They will. You will hear it. So it's not true that it's not pronounced. It's just that I would suggest you not to pronounce it, just drop it. But if you do end up pronouncing it, it's fine.
Restaurants, in railway stations, at supermarket, checkout, and you never pronounce the U at the end of it.
Which is weird, but whatever. Japanese words always end with either a vowel or an N. That's just a fact. Anyway, for a polite thank you, it's arigatou gozaimasu.
And so the only thing here, he's very well-meaning, but he misunderstood because he doesn't have the experience and he's not trained. And again, not trying to shame him. He could shame me because he's an English speaker, of course, native, and I'm not native. So I'm sure that during this video, there are plenty of words that I mispronounce in English. And he could totally come to me and tell me, and that's fine. By the way, I would have no problem. In fact, I would appreciate it. And you guys, you are lovely like that. Every time I mispronounce something, you tell me that's not how it's pronounced, Metatron. And I appreciate it because I'm learning from it. And he seems to me, I don't know him, but he appears to me to be a very humble guy. So I think he'll appreciate these corrections.
Not as some movies and TV series would have you believe, by the way, domo arigato. Yeah. I'm told that basically never gets used. Forget it.
That's thank you. So what about?
Domo arigato. Some people use it. In fact, some people just say domo. You can use it. Domo arigato. It's fine. It's not true that it's never used, but it's true that arigato and arigatou gozaimasu are the most used. So fine. I'll give that one as a half-truth.
Please. Well, you've actually got two options. Okay. Kudasai and the slightly harder to digest. Onegaishimasu.
Yes.
Complete with that mas at the end. So you better know that it's polite.
Yes.
They each have specific uses. For example, you'd only use kudasai when asking someone to complete an action. It goes with verbs. And onegaishimasu is the one to use when asking for a service, like asking a taxi driver to take you somewhere.
That's actually pretty good. He described this well. For those of you who want a deeper understanding of these words, literally, onegaishimasu, it kind of means I pray. It's the idea of the concept of praying. So imagine it, since it's very formal, to give you a good alternative of equivalent in English is when you hear someone, tell me, I pray, tell me. Like that kind of language. Pray, tell me what you wanted to say. Like we hear it sometimes in novels or games and that kind of stuff. And kudasai, it literally means let me receive. So it is used a bit like please. So it's correct. Chotto matte kudasai in connection with verbs, please wait. But it actually means let me receive your waiting. I know it's weird if you think about it that way, but the reason why it's important, I always used to tell my students when I was teaching Japanese, is because there are scenarios in which you use this to mean let me receive. And so it's good that you know that that's what you're actually using. And when you translate it as please, it's not a literal translation, but it's contextual. Nothing wrong with contextual translations, but it's also important to underline what you're actually saying.
But for the tourist purpose of just, pointing at things you want and saying please.
Yeah, that's fine.
Both of them are fine.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one is kore desu. Which is quite useful.
Now the next word, in my experience, is the most useful of all.
So kore to add a little bit, it means this close to you speaking. So this object would be kore, okay? But if it's close to the person you're speaking to, you cannot use it anymore. To be like, I want this, you can't do it. At that point is sore. And then if it's close to a third person, and it's neither you nor the person you're speaking to, it becomes are. So kore can only be used if the object is close to you, the person speaking. Yeah.
Sumimasen, which means a lot of things, actually, but the closest thing we have to it is excuse me.
Yeah.
Because like excuse me, you can use it to grab someone's attention, like to call a waiter in a restaurant, for example, sumimasen.
Yeah.
And also, like excuse me, you can use it as
an apology,
little sort of apology. Say you bump into someone in a busy Tokyo station, you can express your regrets politely with sumimasen.
Yeah.
It also has lots of other uses. For example, it can mean thank you when a stranger has done you a good turn. Say they've picked up something you've dropped.
He's absolutely right. In fact, I'm impressed that he got this one right, because this is something that a lot of people do wrongly. So what people do, particularly beginners, when you're learning another language, is that you literally learn the words and then you're applying a skin of your own language over the foreign language. But the reality is that you don't really speak a language until you say things the way they say it, not the way you say it just by swapping words. And a good example of this, as you were saying, someone gives you a gift in Japan. And in fact, even when my employer, Japanese employer, was paying me my salary every month, and he would give it to us physically, believe it or not, banknotes or bills, inside envelopes. Don't ask me why, but that's how it was done. It was all legal, by the way. I was a legal immigrant in Japan, but for whatever reason, they chose cash. Anyways, when they would give me the envelope that contained the money that was my salary, I would receive it. Usually you receive things with two hands. It's kind of a traditional thing. It's just how it is. And as you receive it, you say sorry. Whether it be a gift or something, you say, sumimasen, sumimasen. So you say sorry. It's a matter of politeness. The idea is I'm taking something from you that you're gifting to me, and so I apologize for that. And instead, if you were just translating in your head, you might say thank you. Not that it's that strange, but a Japanese wouldn't do it. And the idea is, whenever you're learning another language, is you want to try to sound as authentic as possible. In order to sound authentic, you need to say things the way they would say it in that context. So he's right. Sumimasen means sorry. So rather than saying that it can mean thank you, it is used in those places where we would say thank you from a Western perspective, but it still means sorry. You're literally apologizing to people because they are gifting you something. Or imagine I drop a brolly on an umbrella and you picked it up for me. I will say sorry rather than thank you. I will say, sumimasen, because I was clumsy and you honorably picked it up for me. And so I am actually apologizing for it.
You can just say thank you with sumimasen.
Yeah.
Learn it and use it.
He's right.
Because it's handy and you'll certainly hear it a lot.
Yes.
Next, how to say hi. So I reckon of all the Japanese words you might already know, konnichiwa is another likely one.
Yes.
And that's great. Use it. It means good day, basically. But if you want to wish someone a good morning, you can also say the delightfully catchy Ohayo. Such an easy one to remember. You can also ramp up.
Problem is, though, it doesn't sound like Ohio. The way he said it sounds like the state, but the Japanese say Ohayo. And when it comes to, konnichiwa, it kind of stressed the beginning a little bit, and it's one of those patterns that you start low and go high. So konnichiwa and ohayo gozaimasu, if you want to say it like them. But yeah, not a big deal. Even if you say Ohio, they'll understand it, but it is a lengthened vowel.
The politeness of this one with the gozaimasu that we added to arigato earlier, although you cannot do that with konnichiwa because grammar.
Hey, konnichiwa gozaimasu. By the way, gozaimasu, once again, an opportunity, means there is. It's the same thing as arimasu. So something is in this room, but it's just more polite. So when you say arigatou gozaimasu, if you had to really dissect it literally, it means there is, gozaimasu, there is, and then arigatou it literally means to have a difficulty. And I think what that means is similar to the concept in English when you say, I'm at a disadvantage, because maybe I don't know something, or perhaps I couldn't prepare myself for guests, right? So the idea is there is a difficulty because you did something for me and I need to thank you for it. So this is the literal translation of arigatou gozaimasu, there is a difficulty. And the reason why knowing that gozaimasu means there is because you will hear it when it's very polite speech and you ask someone, do you have X in this shop or in this restaurant? They might reply, hai gozaimasu, which means yes, there is. Isn't that fascinating?
So ohayo gozaimasu is good morning, and good evening is konbanwa.
Yeah.
Konbanwa. Ohayo and konbanwa.
Konbanwa, rather than, he's stressing the ba, but yes, konbanwa.
In my opinion, are easier to learn
He's right.
and remember than konnichiwa. So add those ones to your vocabulary.
Konnichiwa is also used as a little bit of a afternoon as well, if you want. He was correct, though, in the literal translation. It kind of means today, this day. It's spelled the same way as kyo, which means today in Japanese. Same spelling, different pronunciation. Welcome to Japan.
And now it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
No. The video's not finished.
I want to see which one he chooses.
Stick around. I mean, let's learn the Japanese word for goodbye. So all the books and online articles I read before coming here said I should use this very familiar word, sayonara.
Yeah, sayonara. It's too formal. I imagine he's going to say that. But in Japan, I've used it 3 times in 4 years. Because it kind of means farewell, forever. Like, I'll never see you ever again. God be with you. Godspeed. It's like very, very formal.
So I did. But I noticed a few days in that no one
said it back exactly.
It back to me.
Correct.
So I asked a barman, a guy called Jesse, who runs an amazing Japanese whiskey place called Bar Fishbowl in Kyoto.
Wow.
You should go there. He knows everything about Japanese whiskey.
I'll go.
Anyway, when I asked Jesse why no one was returning my sayonaras, he just laughed and said saying sayonara is like announcing that you're going outside to die.
Well, yeah, it's like I'll never see you ever again. It's like adieu. Yeah, addio. It's precisely that. It's poetic even. Yeah.
Goodbye. We shall never see each other again.
That's right.
Apparently it's a bit final.
Yes.
Like farewell. He told me to use this instead.
Matane. Yes, it's a little informal though, so we'll have to be careful with that one.
Matane.
Yeah.
Matane.
Matane.
It basically means see you later. It's casual, but it is used.
Mata means again, so it's like see you again.
A lot. Actually, a few people told me to use this one. There is an even easier one to remember, though, and it's bye-bye. But apparently that is a bit cutesy.
Yeah.
Probably one to avoid.
Now, here's a really useful Japanese word if you have a restaurant menu in front of you and you have no idea what is going on. It just looks like gibberish.
Oh, is it going to be osusume?
No handy translation, no convenient pictures to point at. In that case, you can use the magic word omakase.
Okay, yeah. So omakase, it's actually a type of restaurant. I'm glad he didn't say omakase because it pisses me off when people do that. Or even worse, omakaze. No, it's omakase, like you said it. That's correct. And I used to work, by the way, in an Italian restaurant at one point because when I was in Japan, I worked as a translator and interpreter, simultaneous interpreter. But then on weekends, sometimes I would wait at restaurants. And did I say that right? Wait, well, whatever. And it was an omakase restaurant. So omakase restaurants are restaurants where the chef decides for you. And it's a specific type of restaurant, so you don't pick anything. You just tell them what allergies you have, which they mispronounce alergi. So if they say alergi, it means allergy. But I guess, yeah, you could say that. Omakase to be like, I'll leave it up to you. Or you could say osusume wa nan desu ka? But that means what do you suggest? And then they'll speak and then you won't understand. So I guess this is better. Yeah.
When the waiter asks you what you want, because it means, I'll leave it up to you.
Exactly, yes.
Basically, you're telling the waiter or chef to bring you whatever they think is good or whatever they want to show off. It works a charm.
Yeah, he's right.
But just be aware that what you end up with might not be the sort of thing that you would have ordered in the first place.
He's correct. Anyways, it's a good video. It's a good video. So he goes into, Okaike for the bill. That's right. Genkin is cash. Oh, I want to hear him say sugoi. Sugoi is fun. It means fantastic.
Oishii.
Yes.
Which means delicious.
Delicious.
I was actually taught that by a restaurateur in Matsuyama called Maya. She also gave me another great word, which is this one, which she was kind enough to record herself saying for me.
Sugoi.
Thank you very much. It means fantastic.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great one to have in your arsenal because things here can get pretty fantastic.
And you can add des for politeness. Since he spoke about politeness, all of these are E adjectives. So adjectives, they finish with a E sound. They are the real, actual adjectives rather than adjectival nouns in Japanese. And there is a trick when it comes to pitch accent for those of you who are interested. Every real adjective, and I'm talking 99%, there are just a couple of exceptions, they all have the same pitch if they end with an E and they are true E adjectives. And that is low, high, and then you go low again on the E. So, sugoi, 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 kawaii. The second E, because there's two E, kawaii. The second E is when it goes down. Subarashi, natsukashi, omoshiroi. They all do this. So you learn the pitch once, you know the pitch accent for every single true adjective in Japanese. But for formality, you can add des. Not necessary from a syntax perspective.
Now, you may be thinking that I've so far skipped some of the basics. For example, I haven't mentioned the words for yes and no. But in Japan, particularly in the case of no, it's far from basic. In a society that likes to keep things...
I'll keep this for those who want to actually check out his original video. But generally speaking, I liked the video. A Traveler's Guide to Japanese. Maybe it would have been better to consider it like a beginner's impression on Japanese language or something like this, because again, to write a guide, I think you should know, or at least have some basic training. But because he's so nice, I just can't go further than that, and I do still appreciate. In this case, actually would have made my job a lot easier if he was an asshole or like one of those arrogant people. He's not. He seems really nice. So just wanted to correct a little bit here and there, but generally speaking, I think it's a valid video, and I really enjoyed watching it. What did you guys think? And back you are. I'm in the way of the post-its. I don't know what that means. Yeah, matane, exactly, that one there. You started smoking at 30 years old and kept smoking for a chunk of your life. Well, yeah, if you start very young, I guess you get addicted to it, and then it's a lot harder to... I never got addicted to the thing. So, you enjoy Rob Words. Yeah, me too. Me too. He's a good channel. Good channel, good guy. Absolutely. It's a nice tourist guide. Yeah, it's interesting. Exactly, yeah. Metatron, we can't see it. I'm confused. What can you know? Oh, the video? Did I not put myself top right? I apologize if that's the case. I sometimes forget to do that. The trailer, you'll have to rewatch. The whole first section of the video is about that. You can go back and watch it now, or once we're done with I leave all VODs public now. I used to unlist them. Now I don't. So the video will be available for you to watch. And then there will be an edited version that I will chop up the sections that like I don't say anything or I'm speaking to chat but about something else. And so there will be a compiled version of my reaction to the trailer, perhaps with some addition to it as a regular video in the next few days. Possibly tomorrow if I can do it quickly enough with the editor. I'll try to do that. So if you want, you can also watch that one, and it's an easier one to navigate through. So you don't have to go through me going like and stuff like that. That gets edited out, so I think it's better when I do that. Oh, your son lived in Japan for 5 years. I'm proud of him for learning the language. Absolutely. Learning Japanese has been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. So it's 100%, yeah. Cool. How long does it take to learn to read ancient Greek? A while. Ancient languages are extremely complicated, and it's not impossible, but you have to put some effort into it. And in general, you'll get ready for people getting mad at you if you're actually learning the ancient Greek pronunciation, including the pitches, because it was a pitched-based language, like differently from modern Greek, which is a stress-based language. But there are even some Greek, I freaking love them. They're like my cousins. I'm a Sicilian, but some Greeks don't appreciate the ancient reconstructed pronunciation. It's a bit like some Italians hate classical Latin, and they think, no, that's not how I would pronounce it now in ecclesiastical, and so it must be wrong. Italians do have, in fact, every time I pronounce in classical Latin, which is objectively the closest we get to how Latin was pronounced. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's not how I would pronounce it as an Italian now. It's been 2,000 freaking years. Of course, things change. I mean, good luck trying to pronounce Anglo-Saxon as a modern English speaker. And so that's one thing that happens sometimes whenever I do use classical Latin pronunciation. Italians, everyone loves it, but Italians get pissed at me. Likewise, if you learn ancient Greek pronunciation, particularly if you're looking at, whichever pronunciation you choose, and then you start pronouncing it, some people will get mad at you, and it is what it is. But it doesn't mean you're not doing anything wrong. It's just a national thing that we have. It's a national pride that we as Italian have towards Latin and Greeks have towards ancient Greek. Justly so. It's their language. But then again, if a modern Greek person or a modern Italian went to a classicist who is Greek or is Italian, but have studied ancient Greek and classical Latin pronunciation, they would see, oh, damn, this is right. I didn't know. But some people, I want to speak mostly about Italians because I haven't interacted with a lot of Greeks on this, although my dear friend of the channel, Luke Ranieri, he gets toasted even though he's really well articulate, excellent speaker of both classical Latin and ancient Greek. He constantly gets harassed in the comments because of it. And it is what it is, but it's just what the data shows. And it's not even the fault of modern Greeks and modern Italians because we don't learn it. You think in Italy we learn classical Latin pronunciation? Not a chance. The only way you study it, because in high school we do study Latin in Italy, but it's all ecclesiastical, even when we read the classics, which is ridiculous. It's wrong. Because they didn't pronounce it. They didn't say veni, vidi, vici. They said veni, vidi, vici. It's a fact. They didn't say Caesar. They said Caesar. It's a fact. It's proven. It's provable. It's demonstrated beyond almost any shadow of a doubt. When it comes to the vowel quality, it's debatable because we don't have a recording. But we know for a fact they didn't pronounce the C as a ch in classical Latin. You can drop it. And but we don't know it. We don't study it as Italians. You have to go to university and take classical Latin pronunciation classes. Then you'll be introduced into restored pronunciation. Otherwise, if your only exposure to Latin in Italy has to do with high school, you won't even know it existed. And that's a failure of the educational system in Italy. At least that's what I think. It's insane. Yeah. But what can you do? Yeah. Let me see. Metatron can't get in trouble on Rumble. Yeah, Rumble is pretty good when it comes to freedom of speech. Nothing you produce comes anywhere close to our TOS here. I appreciate that, Roy. Thank you very much. That's really cool of you. I appreciate. Talking about that, I wanted to check out very quickly how we're doing in terms of numbers on all platforms. So on Twitch, 38 viewers. That's normal for my Twitch. On Rumble, how we're doing right now? Wait. Okay, for a moment I thought that with views. Okay, no. Yeah, 200 viewers. It's very, very good. In fact, can you imagine that? I've been doing Twitch for like a year and a half constantly, and I'm getting 10 times the number of people watching on Rumble. That's the thing, I suppose. How is YouTube? YouTube right now, we are looking at, because this way I also check the quality of the connection, by the way. It's not just about concurrent viewers, 296, a little low on YouTube right now. We had 500 at the beginning of the stream, but then again, I've been streaming for how long? 3.5 hours already. Goodness gracious, time flies when one is having fun, am I right? noble ones? Absolutely. Holy moly. One moment, I'm checking data very quickly. Okay, cool. Thank you very much for becoming a guardian, Jason. You just became a member of the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, there is a page I wanted to show you that I forgot about, actually, and I'm going to show you now. Because this guy is phenomenal, just as a little palate cleanser for when it comes to like the, when we're talking about nonsense. This is, particularly with the Miguel guy, this is Juan Sanz El Miniaturista on X. He has 17,000 followers. And guys, this guy is incredible when it comes to painting miniatures. I mean, look at this. I need to show you. I mean, if there is one thing that blows my mind, because I enjoy painting miniatures, but I never... Look at this! How does he do it? Unbelievable. This guy is really talented, and I've gone... Look at this. It looks almost smoky, like the paint. That's an amazing Chaos Warrior, by the way. Nurgle. Wow. These are so small. I don't even know how these people do it. I don't know how some people are so talented when it comes to... Oh my goodness gracious. Exceptional. Absolutely. I want to see the chat. Let me move the chat, but this is absolutely exceptional. Absolutely. Wow. Your streams are so balanced. Much love from this Taoist. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very cool to have you here. Go Rumble, people are saying. Yeah, and I mean, you know what happened to me, by the way, a few days ago? I was live on Rumble and I was just playing a video game. And all of a sudden I had 1,300 people. So 1,300 people. I don't know how that happened. The only time that happened on YouTube is when I got married live. And it did happen, because I was speaking about the war, and I guess it was a very strong topic and very controversial, so I did get 1,300 people watching. It very rarely happens on YouTube, but it's very rare. Look at the metal, even the skin of the orc and the burnt face. How do they do it? How do they do Merry Christmas to everyone? How do they do it? Unbelievable. I love it when they do the green skin right, which to me is exactly this. Warcraft green, may I add, or in general Warhammer green. Like when the skin is like this, it's incredible. It makes me want to start collecting an orc and goblins army. This guy is incredibly talented. You want to know how I found him? Look at that. Look, not only is doing the fire effect, but the reflection of the fire and the light projected onto half of his chest, Kuiras. Are you joking? I don't know if I got raided that day. I haven't got a clue. I don't know what happened. Anyways, you want to know how I found this guy? I found him because of this. Let me see if he saved it. Yes, this. Hero Quest. Hero Quest. Man, doesn't this hit a nostalgia note with you? It does with me. Look at the Chaos Warrior and the reflection as if he's standing in front of a forge. That's how I imagine it. The forge going, someone is making weapons and armor, and it's projected onto his glittering metal. Once again, between these two, this would be my favorite orc skin. It always is, because it makes it look a bit like Warcraft. I love this. I don't know how he does it. The quality of the smoothness of the paint. And then, of course, the four heroes. One being Conan. This is clearly Conan. Conan was everywhere, by the way. In the freaking 80s, Conan was everywhere. And we love it. It was great. Arnold was everywhere. Personally, if I'm going to paint these, I'm never going to be able to do this level of quality. But I know that canonically, the elf, he's the elf. Canonically, he has white hair, but I might paint him blonde. Although then again, canonically, he's correct. The dwarf is great. And of course, the mage, I don't even know how he's going to do the details like this, unless it's some kind of transfer. But knowing the level of this guy, look at the blades. I just don't know how they do it. I don't know how people are this talented. Look at the blades. It really gives you the impression that the metal is reflective. I don't know how they do it. But when I saw this, I was mind blown. Look at this. I think this is my favorite. I love it when they give it this little feel as if you are, because it's, I wouldn't even consider it necessarily an ultra realistic shading. It's more like you would see on a cell shaded character or a comic book. You know what I mean by that? And that's my favorite effect that I haven't got a clue how to do, that people can do. And I'll be honest with you, I would pay top dollar for this. First, to not disrespect the level of not only the time, but the time to make it, but the time that it took him to learn the skill. You gotta pay those painters. You gotta pay them. Pay them right if you have the opportunity. If not, save so that you can pay them right. And but yeah, no, I'm impressed with this guy. So I thought I'd give him like a little bit of a shout out if it counts, because it's just too good. Too good. Literally too good. Yeah. Airbrush plus layered. Yeah, I think he begins with the airbrush, but I don't know if that's how he does the rest, but impressive. Absolutely impressive. Amazing detail. I agree. Absolutely amazing. 100%. 100%. Let me close all the tabs. I still have a million tabs. When will I ever learn? Let's close this tab. Let's close this tab. And we can close this one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a mini break. I'm going to go check on the wife because she's pregnant. So it's right of me to go check on her, make sure she's okay. And then I might grab a snack and play some games or not. We'll see. I'll leave you with the chair. Last time you were naughty. Don't mistreat the chair. But I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back. The baby's name, August Alexander, in honor of Octavian Augustus or Augustus and Alexander the Great. Be right back. All right, guys. So, let me check super quick. I hope you were nice to the chair. You were Muppets, like you're always Muppets. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate. Okay, so what I decided is, because I just remembered that it is the 23rd, so I told my wife, I said, I don't know, should I play a little bit longer or should I call it a night? And she was like, no, go do your live stream, because she's lovely. But then I thought it is the 23rd, so I think it's nicer if I spend the night. Maybe we can watch a movie together. So I think I'm going to call it a night for the live stream, but I do want to say massive thank you to all of you hanging out. And possibly after Christmas at this point, because I'm going to continue posting normally, but after Christmas, I'm thinking of maybe the 26th, 27th, we'll see. I'd like to do a gaming stream because I do want to play. I do want to play a little bit. Metatron says he's transparent. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so anyways, we'll have our gaming stream one of these days or nights. But for now, I'm going to take it. And you know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to play some Final Fantasy Tactics, and I'm going to turn on my Amigas, because I'm a guy. Well, gay in the sense that I'm happy. I'm a guy who still has his 1980s computers, because I'm from the 80s. What can I tell you? Thank you so much, guys. See you all around the Rumble Arcade. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate everyone on Rumble, everyone on Twitch, and everyone on YouTube. Thank you again for the super chats. In fact, let me check, because I don't want to be disrespectful, that there isn't like a super chat I didn't read. I want to check that very quickly. I read that. Maybe I didn't. I remember when you talked about this guy in the past. Fortunately, yeah, Youglish is an awesome tool that lets you search YouTube for words and learn how to play. Do people say it? Have you tried it? I'll check it out. Thank you very much, Makarov. Sorry for not reading that. And let me see. I read this one. Yeah, I read this one. I think I read everything. Yeah. Modern interpretation of the Odyssey. Yeah, I read that. Horseman, tell me where you took Helen Anoitos, or else I'm going to get the horse mobile and we're going to run you over. Sorry for not reading that. Yeah, of course. Rest in peace, Dendra Pattern Armor. I think we spoke about it. Merry Christmas to you all. Same to you, my friend. Asterion Moloch is some realistic Greek armor. I think I read that one. Kislev, I remember that. Britannia's being gaslit by the elves. Oh, I love that one. Did I even read it during the live stream? I don't remember, but I'll read it now. This is funny. Oh, yeah, no, I remember it now. Ultramarines Minotaur chapter. Yep, I read that one. Okay, yes, I read everything. Again, thank you to Ray Gonzalez for the memberships, and for Jason Bundy for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate that. And then let me see that I didn't forget anything, because I never want to be disrespectful to people. I think I did read everything. I mean, talking about subscriptions and stuff. Yes. Appreciate. All right, guys. So I'm going to call it a night. Thank you again for your generosity. And thank you, most importantly, for being here and spending it with me. I'll see you tomorrow for the next upload on everything. And have a good one. Merry Christmas. Ciao. Ciao, ciao.